Avashti fuckers. It's be reading time. What's up, everybody? You got a bunch of fucking visual noise on the screen right now, but I'm back. It's your boy. He thought he could do a full week of streaming. Everybody point and laugh. I don't know what happened yesterday, dog. Fucking the curse of the Sunday really did grab my ass and suplex me. I'll tell you that much. Let me get like some fucking background noise. Should do the one OST. Been a minute since I done listened to this shit. Put me on that green spectre right now. Hell yeah. But yeah, no, yesterday I intended to stream. Issue was I passed out really hard. Like I'm talking like 12 hours. Close to 12 hours. Which I don't understand, because the night prior with the Umbra interview, after that I passed out after like a few hours and I got some sleep. But Sunday I was just like, oh no, we're gonna not exist for a little while. So obviously we couldn't do the readings then, but today we can. So that everybody knows kind of like what we're doing right now. Obviously we're gonna have like a little bit of a yap, and then we're gonna roll into reading the bounties from last week, since I wanted to actually go ahead and get all of them read, especially since there were so many. Then after that, I'll either just call it, have it be an early or like a small stream today. I know the Nun in the Chamber boys are gonna be fucking seething at me if I do that, but you know, that's how it is, you know what I mean? But yeah. So we'll be reading the bounties. There might be some Nun in the Chamber chapter at the end. We'll see how I'm feeling. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of feel a little bit of like something in like at the back of my throat, like phlegmy, more so than usual. And I don't know if that might be me getting a little slightly under the weather. I mean, my brother's been sick the past since Friday, I think it is. So I don't know if I might be getting a little bit of funk myself. Who knows? You're dying, Humo. Perpetually, yes. One day I hope to solve that. All we need now is dehydrated Puppet Ben to go with dehydrated Nazar. Take his liquid. Siphon it out of him now. Wait, maybe don't do that. Put him in a dryer. Not a dryer, dehydrator. There we go. Hope you get well. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I don't feel too bad right now. It's just I feel I can kind of feel a little something when I'm talking here. And then need to kind of like clear my throat a little, but curious how this will turn out. I'm hoping it turns out well, because I'd like to do it each week. That way we act, because we show all the art, but we hadn't been showing all the writing, and that kind of shows. So I do want the writers to get their dues as well. Let's find Humo a machine body so that we can program him to read us forever. Don't worry, fucking AI Humo will be in full swing within, I believe, 3 years. The way tech is going would not be surprising. Are you reading the remaining fix of week 3 then 4? No, we're just gonna be doing week 4s, and we'll be trying to make a habit of reading the fix for each week going forward. Mecha Humo. Ever since I knew the cringe nature of my flesh, I have pursued the certainty of steel. Puppet Ben to Puppet Inko.
Let me give you some advice. Never fall for your lure of parapussy.
Yeah, he traded teams. He went from Parapussy to fucking Raptor Pussy. Which, hey, you know, good for him. How do you think the endings would go for Hold On To Me? Well, actually, I do need to go back on my own time into the alpha, because I believe there were different endings for that. I don't know. I think, like, your quality of endings is really gonna be determined by how close you let everybody in the group get. You're gonna have, like, a fucking loner ending where you probably end up click-clacking yourself or something terrible happens and it's not good. You'll probably have an ending a la E2 where you fuck everything up and you end up still alive but living a shitty life. And then I think 3 and 4 are gonna be dictated by kind of how you handle things with Royce, if I were to take a wild guess. Howdy, Mr. Streamer. Piss version. Inventive Pints. What in particular we're reading today? We're reading the week 4 writing prompt submissions, and then maybe some Run in the Chamber after.
Not sure which one.
Just peeping the stream before I sleep. Have a nice stream.
Alright then, I hope you sleep well.
Protogen Humo better than AI Humo. We'll just put the AI in a Protogen outfit, guys. It's all good. Not gonna lie, the end part where Mimi started breaking down really freaked me out a bit. Hope they dig into that. I'm sure they will. Because obviously Mims has some stuff going on. It'd be good to peel that back. De Mims, Chimia, Newa. Exactly. We gotta have the lads up on the screen. They're the hot new shit after all. We don't play the Mimi Alpha on Friday, and it's only Monday. They need at least a week. Oh, man, kind of feel like my whole body needs to like pop real quick. You know what I mean? Which fucking soundtrack is this? Ah, Gold Feather. Makes sense. Back from therapy, I'm an nymphomaniac. Explains a lot, so we're reading. Oh man, I really should just update the title and say writing prompts. Fucking Monday. Yeah, fucking 8 Mondays. Marks the beginning of the week. Piece of piss, in it. Why am I going to a voice? Yeah, I hate Mondays. I'm like Garfield in that sense. Isn't it funny that people kind of get conditioned to not like Monday from as early as, you know, ye old being a child, ye old grade school. We get to Friday and we're made the promise of the weekend. We get our fucking Saturday and our Sunday, but then Monday rolls back around and guess what, motherfucker? Guess what? Your ass is going back to the coal mine. If the plush she pulled near the end was Chimi, I'd have died in my seat. That'd have been fucking crazy. Of course, like, how could you do the Chimi, like, fucking plush? Like, I would start staring at Tiffany and be like, what the fuck? Why did you make that? That thing is crazy looking. If Mimi is taken by Nua, I would love to romance the green dino. Get in line. Points at the back of a fucking long ass line. I think there's a lot of people that would like to romance the Chiro. Automod firing strays. I just wanted a horny post involving Nazar. Damn shame, damn shame. Never gonna be allowed to thirst for the Naz. Most I can give you is the NASCAR. Truly 1984. Side note, fuck the weekend work bullshit. I mean, I get that some people have to work on their weekends due to the nature of, you know, service jobs, But God, I can't imagine giving up my weekends. Just wait. The robots will fix this for us, guys. They'll save us. They'll make it so we don't have to work anymore, and then everything will be beautiful. Huffing that copium. Don't know why, but when I see Puppet Ben, his eyes make me think he's on more than just antipsychotics. Oh yeah, he's definitely on the carf. He'd definitely be huffing that shit. I spent the last 2 days playing TGC. Wait, isn't it TCG? Regardless, I know what you're talking about. Card packs are my crack. Oh yeah, that looks like the kind of game you could definitely whittle the hours away on. Recently, I've been playing fucking Dead by Daylight. I know, streamer, what has happened to you? You were dying. You must be dying live if you're playing Dead by Daylight. I've been doing like 4 stacks with some of the boys in the Discord. It's been enjoyable enough. God, imagine playing solos though. That would be. Although I was doing a couple killer matches last night after everybody disbanded, because I was like, you know what? I kind of feel like doing a little bit of this. And it is funny when you're not playing against the super sweat lords and you don't decide to be a super sweat lord yourself. Those matches can be fun. But I know damn well there'll come a time where everything gets too sweaty in Dead by Daylight, and I'll be like, all right, I'm getting out of here. It was fun playing. I got other games. Other than that, there's Terraria, the Terraria server, which I'm probably gonna hit up Kev here soon and be like, yo, you want to just like beat the shit out of this stupid fuck wall and then move into hard mode? Because we're playing Calamity, right? And I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to see what like hard mode bosses I can fight pre-hard mode. Like we already killed Aquatic Scourge, and I've started to look at Anahita and Leviathan. I kind of like look them up and down and be like, can I make this work? The answer looks to be no, but I'm gonna keep trying, because what the fuck else am I gonna do? I was gonna say let's do it tonight. Fuck yeah. Given that this might be a shorter stream, I'd definitely be down to do it afterwards. Let's see, what else is there? Oh yeah. I guess to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that we started but we didn't finish, i.e. Silent Hill 2 and Undertale 2. And Black Souls. I'd like to get to those again sometime soon. I don't know if we'll start them or we'll continue them this week. Maybe we will. Hard to say. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Because there's a couple other, since it's still the spooky month, there's a couple other games I want to get to play before then. Like, I could see myself doing Silent Hill 2 and finishing that up this week. Because that's the spooky game. But Undertale 2 and Black Souls might be put on a small hiatus until either closer to the end of the month or, I don't know, maybe beginning of next month. Hard to tell for me. Because I also want to play Soma. And I'm pretty sure I had a couple other games that I'd like to take a look at, but haven't yet. At the very least, Soma's one that I need to get to. So we'll see how things pan out. I'll probably try and wrap up Silent Hill 2 this week and then move on from there. I really do have to think about like what do we want to do community wise for like Friday, because I know last week, you know, we bypassed community night in order to do Hold On To Me, which hell yeah, love me some Hold On To Me, but I want to try and get a community night going this week. That way, you know, people can play video game. Secret Lab, decent choice, but I might see if there's something else that maybe could be a good time. I don't know if anybody's seen it. There's a game called Web Fishing, which is a fishing game that's supposed to also be kind of like a chat room type deal where you just chill out, fish, and chat. That looks pretty chill. It's like $5. It's not a high price of admission. I might look into maybe setting up something like that at some point. Fistful of Frags again, maybe? Possibly. I liked Fistful of Frags. I was also pretty decent at it. I would definitely say that one can enter the rotation of ones that we kind of just jump around on. Let me hop back over to look at the chat for a minute. Chiro, I need a Tiffany game. Well, I think the Tiffany route is confirmed to be something that they will make after. So you'll get your Taffany. You'll get your Taffany. I played Hold On to Me for Mimi and stayed for Mimi. My opinion remains unchanged. Hey man, Giga Trigo appreciation. I can respect that. I'm always working the weekend. Hate being reliable. Did you see the Pokemon Giga Leak? I heard stuff about the Pokemon Giga Leak, and it's just one of those things where all you can say is buh. That's what killing you did, but daylight rot. True and real. For the 3 Firefox users in chat, make sure to update your browser because there seems to be a vulnerability. Yeah, I think I saw something posted about that in the Megalomania chat, not VC, channel. So, yeah, probably make sure that's updated so you aren't vulnerable and get fucking killed. New GTA survival hit the zombie itch. Not sure what that means. Once the game adds the ability to actually play the card in it, that'll be a good couple 100 hours added to playtime for me. My face when the trading card game allows me to trading card. I played Hold On to Me, and I want to see Nua crash his dirt bike doing his trick. I'm sure you will, and it'll be glorious, because then Mimi will take care of you. Also been playing my fair share of Deep Rock Galactic. Love me some Deep Rock. Been a hot minute since I played it, though. I'm not whoever wants to join the fight, though. Yeah, I could post like a quick thing in the fucking announcements. More Chiro for stream. Okay, I'll pull that up and I'll flash it up here in a second. If you got which human in the Snoop verse, who do you think has a chance at beating Principal Spears in a fight? None of them. If you're giving me any endings, though, I would say probably E3 Anon has the best chance just because he's ripped and has military training. If Undertale 2 is so good, why isn't there an Undertale 2 too? Shit, dog. You're so fucking right. Except there could be, and we don't know. So notifications still at work for a bit. Be back later. Alright, Andrew. Recently bought the Dark Side Detective 1 and 2 along with Pumpkin Jack for spooky season. Pumpkin Jack was a game that I believe Greyfeather had recommended me. And I saw a couple people picking that up, so maybe I gotta throw my looks over there as well. You could try the other Gmod games like Hide and Seek and Classic Prop Hunt. Ooh, you know it'd be a good one? What is it? Stop It Slender. That could be a fun one for community night. If I remember correctly, Stop It Slender essentially has it so that you're playing specific maps that are calibrated for it, and there's just pages, and everybody's goal is to get all the pages while somebody's playing Slender Man. It can be funny as fuck. That could be a fun one. Maybe, yeah, Gmod horror is something I gotta look at. Maybe some Sven Co-op horror as well. Hold On to Me really opened something in me about tomboys. Well, you know, everybody has their awakening. What reading we just got here? We're gonna be reading the writing prompts from week 4, and then maybe a Nun in the Chamber chapter if I'm feeling it, or it could just be a shorter stream tonight depending on how long those run. I'd say if after the yap we have like an hour and a half of reading the submissions, Hell, if it takes like an hour to an hour and a half, we probably won't be reading an Unchambered chapter, just because like that, given how long those chapters are. I might read like something else to help pad the stream a little bit more, but we'll see. It's always a we'll see with me, you know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? Yo, what, Pog? Yep. You'll get your taffy. Cheera. Additional routes, let's go. Okay, let me also add on to there. That's what I've heard. Don't take that as the gospel. Fistful of Frags is fun and easy to run. Also, I like spamming "Vamos" with my team. Get that gringo. Pass the whiskey. I liked running around with a fucking hatchet and be like, woo, boo, boo. And not buying anything, because why would I buy stuff when my base kit can rock shit? Literally, the League Pokemon lore was like reading through Greek mythology. So like the thing that I didn't look too much into it. The one thing that I was curious is like, where does all of this fit in? Is this just supposed to be like extended lore, or was this meant for like some game or something? I'm a Firefox user, we are here. You're so real and brave for that. Whoever said this GTA zombie mode, same. North Yankton zombie survival map. What? I might have to like look this up, because I don't understand. GTA zombie survival. Oh, it's an event, is it? Ludendorff Cemetery Survival. Fight off the North Yankton Nightmare in the new Ludendorff Cemetery Survival, plus a new community challenge, a Halloween-inspired community series, and more. Wow. So cool. Guys, I think I'm gonna play it. Guys, I wanna play it. Let me go to my... Let me go to my fucking video games. GTA 5. Oh no, I need 112 gigabytes of space. Uh-oh, can't play it. And before, why didn't you have GTA installed? What are you, stupid? Played lolcow TCG. I work for them. I shield them too. Yeah, go play lolcow TCG. Support Kevin and the peoples. I've come across some interesting information. It would cost over $2 million to properly renovate Luigi's mansion. Is that just like raw cost of materials, or are we talking like labor as well? Typhlosion fans? Or Typhlosion fans eating good? Wasn't like Typhlosion like really like people were like no with those leaks? First time I played that game was in community night, so all I can remember is give those gringos. Is that the first time we had you in a community night, I heard of? Undertale Birth by Sleep. Oh my god. Don't. E3 Anon Spears will end in a draw with the surrounding 3 blocks destroyed. I think Spears still takes it, but like E3 Anon definitely gives him like a fucking run for his money. There was something I was thinking, and now it's gone, and now I'm mad. It was gonna be something relating to like community night, I think. Oh no, not relating to community night. I should see about getting like maybe Jake and Lanny one night and trying to do like some of the Dark Pictures anthology. Because I've done Man of Medan, I haven't done House of Ashes or Little Hope yet, and I think those could be pretty fun to try and run. Or we could also maybe for one of the community nights, I'll sit in VC and we'll do like What's the other one that they made? Fuck, I can't recall what it is off the top of my head. Hold up, Supermassive Games. The Quarry. That could be a fun one. Just got hell let loose and was playing medic. Was reviving a guy, got him up, started to heal him. Boom, fucking mortar strikes us. I survived, his body was littered everywhere. Yeah, those games are fun. Like when you get a good a good thing going. I like running those as like lodges, like, you know, squad or that game, because sometimes you get some really funny events. Like I was doing a logi run, and I think like Hell Let Loose or one of the similar type games, and we were taking like a back road to try and get some supplies to where we needed them to be, and my buddy was driving. He gets shot in the head, like his brain spill into my lap. I start getting hit. I have to hop out of the fucking thing, hit the deck immediately, bleeding out. And like I'm like fucking crawling away from the vehicle as it explodes behind me, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta pack the wound. Oh god, there's so much blood. Shit's fun. Love to have a bounty be more spoopy.
Yeah.
What we reading? We're gonna be reading bounty submissions. If we're doing a one-shot fix stream, I have an idea. I even got humor. Pass the whiskey. Pokemon and human relationships was already in the lore. Yeah, but I think like the leaks or whatever was like pretty explicit in what was going on. Wonder how the whole behind the whole anthropomorphic dinosaur and human living together thing lore would be, honestly. You mean just like how that kind of functions, like in a domestic sense? Like what sorts of oddities might come from that? It was just mythology, it was never supposed to be seen. Okay. Read a shitpost fic. Well, we're reading kind of shitpost fics, I feel like. I don't know to what quality all of these are. Obviously, they were for the art, like the writing submissions, so people only had a week. But if nothing else, they should be fun.
Stream time.
Be scratching the zombie itch. Well, you know what? There's another zombie itch that can get scratched a little later this month. I think it's like 2 weeks out. Let me check the schedule real quick, because I know I had it jotted down on there. Or the calendar. Oh no, it's like a week out. No More Room in Hell 2 drops on Tuesday next week. I have some concerns about it, given what I've seen, but I'll still probably be taking a look as long as it isn't prohibitively expensive. The Pokemon X Human was explicit in the East, marriage and other stuff, but hidden in the West, so new people are just shocked. League stuff was literally just lore they cooked up for no one to see. Let's just say Human X Pokemon relationships have been canonized. I think the thing that got me was just like, wait, they abducted her and then put a baby in her? Huh? It was in one of the movies. $2 million for a mansion is cheap. Truly. Man, isn't it weird that in any context we can say $2 million is cheap? Wild. I want to know how human tribe migrations changed throughout history in the Snootverse. Have there been any like fan stuff that's like tried to take a crack at like the extended lore from like the past in the Snootverse? Other than like the bits and pieces we get from like Snoot and Wani. That they talked about it and they said that's why some Pokemon are human-like. Ain't no party like a Hypno Party. You stop that now. Company is called Game Freak. Look inside, freaks. What the frick? was gonna be Sven co-op, but I couldn't catch that. Imagine if you had been there for the pair of pussy pills, Artiv. The incident. It's a good thing Game Freak didn't hire me. Oh, sorry. It's a good thing Game Freak didn't hire me. Would you have freaked them? Human X Pokemon has always been kind of canon, but the new stuff made it explicitly canon, and we got that answer that yes, Pokemon and humans can have offspring with each other. It's definitely interesting that this all just like came out at once, because I think some people just were not ready for that conversation. You know what I mean? Spears in E3 and I'll be like riding an Armstrong. I could see that. %30 of the roughly 2 million is for labor. Okay. So a lot of that's going into raw resource then. I mean, fair enough. You know, the only exposure I think I've had to Luigi's Mansion is watching my buddy Jeremy play it during his, like, Halloween stuff, which, you know, thinking about it, I do need to check. Has he played that this year? Because that's like a fucking yearly tradition for him, from what I remember. Hold up a sec. Videos. Past videos. Oh! Past. He's live hosting me. That scared me. What the fuck? Double homo. What the hell? Oh yeah, he highlights. That's right. Okay, hold up a sec. The Memory Machine. Left 4 Dead 2 collab. Okay. Doesn't look like he's played it this month. I might have to send him a message. Looks through my list of people. Oh, it's been a hot minute since I DM'd him. When Luigi Mansion. Both Schmoopy and Iron are sending me stuff relating to the fucking leagues. Has been stated before, but it was just throwaway line if I recall correctly. Bleach leaks have just straight up confirmed it. Better question, E3 Anon or Angie Boy D? Who would win? Anon. D's got like fucking... D's got some tech, but that's not gonna stand up to like the just drastic weight disparity between the two. And I'm pretty sure Jake would agree with me on that. Also, people are Pokemon as well, because some people in the shows and movies can use moves. Me, when I use Karate Chop and kill somebody. Oh, Sneezy blood. The Flash one for week 3 was dope. SG mods are technically one-shot fix, so we can play Snoop Fiction. You'll get your Snoop Fiction one day, Audiv, god damn it. Oh, you know what? Speaking of mods and shit, we are gonna have to have like a mod night later this month, in celebration of the whatchamacallit, the mod jam that's currently going on. The Halloween mod jam. Let's see. When does this end? I want to say it was like the 21st or something. Let me take a look here. Well, they're doing the showcase on the 28th, so maybe it's closer to then. Or somebody will correct me in chat, I'm sure.
Lapras.
I would have freaked so hard. In Yesterday by Talis Lives, the slur skinny originated from humans who were hunted by dinos and skinned for fancy clothing. Rough! Rough. I would not like being called a fursuit. Or I guess a skin suit in this instance. That would not be fun for me. Why are we talking about Human X Pokemon? Oh, do you not know the leaks? Oh, SWAT. You need to look at those. Well, that's to say Raptor Jesus to me if you have to specify there was at least one other. Yeah, wait, do you think... Oh, what if there was like two Jesus? What if there's a skinny Jesus and a Raptor Jesus? And they dapped each other up. And that was the birth of creation. The rust will consume you, Humo. It usually does. The rot and rust both consume. For me, it's the Rapidash story where after being lectured on sustainable hunting practices, the human immediately hits her with a suave pickup line and gets married on the spot. Call that the Riz, dog. Para pussy pills? I've been so out of the Discord. This was a while back. Fuck. Hold up a sec. I can pull up the moment, I think. Because I vaguely remember when that happens. Sven. It was yeah, this was June 2nd. So this is pretty deep in, dog. I'd have to scrub for it though. Okay, we're breaching and clearing. We're breaching and clearing. Just mute for a second because I know the area I was at. Unless somebody like nope, nobody dropped the timestamp here, so was it right here? No. Oh, here it was. Yeah, that's the reason I wanted to pump the brakes. Here we go. I'll turn it up real quick. Cocaine. Ben reference? Pills? Pills? We should have got Evil Ben.
Me, I need my pills, please.
Eat it out of my pair of pussy, you bitch.
Holy fuck.
That was the bad thought I had a couple nights ago, by the way. I don't know why I just full sent it right now. Yeah. So that's the Parapussy Pills incident. On a community night for Sven co-op, baby. You'll streamer just let the fucking rip the bandage off and sent it. That was a great thought, don't worry. Speaking of mod, Gib YouTube mod. Alright, hold up a sec. Fucking walks over to the YouTube chat, grabs Iron Will. Put user in timeout. Yes. There you go. You got a gun now.
Remember, do many crimes with it. It'll be very funny.
Apparently Pokemon and people are also compatible in producing offspring. That does seem to be the case. If I remember correctly, Ash used a move called like Aura Shield or Bubble, something like that in one of the movies. I'm not huge Pokemon pilled, so I think I've only seen maybe like 1 or 2 movies, and then there are like a fuck ton of them.
You see, I'm a Power World guy. I love Power World.
I love Power World, Charlie. I love Power World. Wait, so Mr. Mime is Ash's dad? Oh, I don't know. Could be. Also, let me go ahead and flash this up on screen real quick. Kev sent me this. Hold up, I gotta clear screen. Clear ads, clear ads. We've got Super Italian Chiro. I think she's reaching for your wallet and or your sandwich. There has to be a ton. I saw Pokemon 2000. It's a lot. I'm a Digimon dude. I just started with Pokemon. I suppose that's what's Pokemon. And dude, I never dipped into Digimon at all. The only thing I know is Renamon, and that's just because of the internet. I've been flashed. The white. Cassette Beast is the only true Pokemon alternative. I remember watching my buddy play that. Never got around to it myself. What happened to the last one in the chat chamber stream? Should be back up now, but we had Baby Mozart in it, and YouTube said we're gonna fucking kill you in the streets if you don't remove that. So I let YouTube sit there and automatically remove it from the VOD. I believe the Nun in the Chamber should be back up now. Goes and takes a look. Yeah, the VOD's there. Should be good now. Would explain why he never grew up, never hit his evolution requirements. Dude, yeah, it all makes sense. Me and my Power World with Lovander. Grabby hands, legendary Super Saiyan Chiro. Dude, she got the green aura. She got that green hair. That means she's strong as fuck, dog. I only remember a couple people with the green looking hair. The Brolies. Not my sandwich. Moments before she teleports your wallet out of your pocket. Do you think she would teleport the wallet out, or do you think she would just go straight for like the fucking money and cards and just have those in her hand? Like, how important is the leather wallet? Oh yeah, Power World, aren't they getting sued? Yeah, because fucking Nintendo's a fuck-ass company and makes me mad. Yeah, they are. If I remember correctly, the whole reason that they're suing is they're trying to like copyright the idea of throwing balls at animals to catch them or some shit. Which, you know. Buh. I already didn't respect Nintendo that much, but that just like fucking really? Really, dog? Fuck yourself. Because, believe it or not, yeah, I like Power World. Power World fucks real hard. That game's fun as fuck. And I would take that any day over Pokemons. You watch your buddy a lot. Well, yeah, he's my buddy. I mean, I watched him more when I had more time back in the day, but nowadays, the time is a fucking... Time is a commodity, I'll tell you what. I remember Nintendo trying to patent jumping. This is a super Italian. Bitch gonna use instant transmission to port around picking wallets. Yeah, imagine, you know, like in the fucking in the alpha when you see the green specters like rush by and that's all you got. Now you just hear pew, pew, and you're like, where's my... Huh? Teleport pants off. Take wallet from there. Do not pants me in the middle of the fucking school, please. God, that would be terrible. Keep in mind she's battle damaged here. Jacket blown off. Who could fucking put up against this kind of power? Certainly not Nua. The lad is still in his training arc. Perhaps the Mims? Oh yeah, fuck gameplay copyrights. It's almost like it's such a fucking dumb idea to copyright some kind of gameplay pattern, because then it just gives you a monopoly on that game. I don't know. Stealing the wallet itself would add insult to injury, I'm sure. Yeah, because then you, not only do you have to like fucking go through the process of grieving all of your money lost, you have to go through the process of buying a wallet again, which will remind you of all the stuff that you lost, which is even worse. Game mechanic patents are such a joke. They really are. And I hope that Nintendo gets all the flack that they deserve for trying to pull that shit. You need to be honest, or D, I'm gonna be honest with you, Ben, I thought you were gay.
I'm an enjoyer of pear pussy.
Fair, living in the background, don't make me death roll you. You know I like it. I'm confused what that is supposed to be. Nintendo is whack. Correct. Bible verse of the day, Psalm 119, 1-3. Blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of the Lord. Blessed are the ones who keep his testimonies, who seek him with the whole heart. They also do not iniquity. They walk in his ways. Yo, shout out to the undefiled. Can we get some dubs in chat for them? Can she beat Goku though? No. Nobody beats Goku. I'm trying to ingratiate myself with the fucking Rosa stands. Greetings, what I miss. Nothing much, Grams. We're just fucking yapping right now. Talking about a couple different things. We touched upon the fucking big ol' Pokemon leaks. Talked about what kind of looking like coming down the pipeline this week and in the future. Now it's my headcanon that's just her after someone flicks her hat off. Extra pissed. Mr. X from Resident Evil style. Now I'm just imagining fucking Chiro in the Mr. X fit, but like not even like tall or anything, just still small as shit. That's funny. That's a funny little Chiro in my brain. Fuck Nintendo. One with the anti-content creator bullshit, only making Mario games and letting its other IPs die, like Star Fox. Yeah. As much as I hate Gaijin, at least they don't enforce their mouse aim patents. Thankfully, I don't have any physical cash. I've got like some physical cash, like in my wallet though. No, I got $2. $2 in my wallet. I'd miss my lucky quarter. That one would suck. That one would hurt a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. First time watching stream? Well, hello, Horia. You're in for a reading stream today. Probably on the shorter end of things, if I'm completely honest with you, but welcome, and I hope your first stream is a good one. I just wish all Dino Girls were real. Same, brother, same. Puts hand on shoulder. My remote fell in the trash can. Well, time to pack it up. Time to pack it up. Get the rope, get the gun, whatever you need to do, the pill bottle. It's over. How many pesos do I need to give you to say blank as Fang or Olivia? Enough to cover at least a Baconator meal from Wendy's.
Cool Bible verse. Unfortunately, I'm from N-Corp and I am gripping.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Nobody beats Goku, so how did he die at least 3 times? Well, he came back, so did he really get beaten when you think about it? Did he really get beaten? Also, like, everybody dies in that fucking series.
Rose, your best side girl.
But what about that time? Nobody beats Goku! Next question! Exactly. Churro as Miss Mouse, or however you spell her name from Paper Mario would go hard. Oh, I think I know who you're talking about, yeah. Mr. Churro. It's my property to sit on and do nothing with, Nintendo. Remember when Nintendo or some other bad company sent the Pinkerton Detective Agency to a YouTube packager because they sent a secret card to him by accident? Yeah, I remember hearing that the fucking Pinkertons ended up going to like fucking repossess a card, and my brain just sat there for a minute and I was like, goddamn Pinkertons? Them motherfuckers is from Red Dead 2! What are they doing here? Goofy ass shit. Oh, hey guys, did you see the thumbnail I did for the fucking Hold On To Me stream? Give me just a sec. For those of you who might not have seen it in its glory, put that up on screen real quick. Hero Green, 4 billion. That was Wizards of the Coast, and they are a blight on the TCG. Gearbox did that because a guy read some information on Gearbox's own public website. Churro steals my wallet.
Haha, you get out of my job. No gives vaccines. No takes vaccines.
It was Wizards of the Coast, and he got booster boxes early. Same name, but slightly different.
Come join N-Corp, Humo, and feel the grip.
I don't think I want to join any of the corps because the corps are crazy. They got them kicks on them. Yeah. Fucking Leon's got the big dumb boots. Churro's wearing the Timbs. Imagine the kind of gremlin that comes into existence if you made a fusion of Churro and Neko Arc. Too strong. Reality obliterates itself. Why does he have those boots? Because he just fleeced them. He got them off some nerd. And now he's rocking them until he fucking finds a way to sell them off. So you need around 24 to 36 pesos to do an Uwu as Fang or Olivia. I don't know. Is that the fucking proper conversion rate? What is pesos to USD? Pesos to dollars. Let's see. 26. Nah, dog, that's $1.34. All right, let me see here. Let me run the calculations. Wendy's Baconator meal cost. Let's see. Don't know my location. No, I don't. Can you not just give me like the over? All right, you know what? Fuck it. 6 months ago. $13. Now it's $14. Okay, so we need $14 worth of pesos. That's gonna be 271 pesos.
Look at the green gremlin. Churro got them Tens.
What if I put like little Temmies on her feet? Like Temmie slippers, you know what I mean? Then Churro would have them Tems. I completely forgot about the Mad Churro sprite. I think I understand the Churro posters now. It's that easy, ladies and gentlemen. Bring them over to our side. Both stolen shoe sets too. Absolutely. Ain't no way they asses paid for that. Leon looks like he is wearing deflated balloons. Have you not seen the big dumb fucking whatchamacallums? The big dumb boots? I don't remember what the fuck they're called. I have to like look them up again. Big red boots. Yeah, big red boots. Mischief. What the fuck is that? Our next release is October 22nd. I don't care. How much do these fucking stupid pieces of shit cost? Okay, hold up. Mischief. Mischief. Big red boots. Cost. Buy now for $180. Mischief only made 200 pairs of the big red boots. Why are the big red boots so popular? Its rise in popularity can only be attributed to novelty and gimmick. What was? How much did the? Okay, yeah. How much did they sell for? Mrs. Big Red Boots went on sale for $350. However, shortly after release, they went on StockX with a resale price of $1,400. Dude, people like are just fucking ridiculous. That's like with like a lot of shoes. I personally am not a big shoe person. Wizard of the Coast hired the Pinkertons. Sure, the dubious little creature getting up to mischief. Fucking Luis there in the corner. I think I said it to a couple people. I'm like, I headcanon that Luis is now Diego's uncle. That's just, I think it's funny to imagine that one day fucking Diego's like, just walks into school with his uncle and like fucking Nua's like, what the fuck? Why? Huh? And he's like, oh, this is just my uncle, my friend. It seems your friend is equipped with ballistics. You can't say that, uncle. That's my friend. Let's see. With the success of Deadlock, I would hope we see Dino versions of the Deadlock cast in the future fan games. Deadlock popped off pretty hard, particularly Ivy. $14 for a Baconator for the meal, yeah. Not gonna lie, this piano kind of slapping. What's American conversion rate math? Stripper boots. I've lost myself in the... What the hell? That was kind of scary. I don't know why it's paused like that. How many pesos per burger? I don't know. You're gonna have to... You go do the fucking math. When I see Luis, all I hear is, oh yeah, it's game time. When I see Luis, I only think about the original when fucking Leon's over his corpse going, Louis! Louis! It's like, dude, his name was Luis. Come on. Me llamo Luis Terra. Nut kickers. Piss catchers. Astro boots. Victor go to the corner of shame. And then we... In case it wasn't apparent, you got Royce in the trash can back there. It'd be interesting to see a fan game incorporate LJ from GVH. I kind of liked her. Are we still on the app? Currently, yes. Get the straight jacket. Think the Mimi story will dive into Leon being a fence and Shiro being the supplier, or just background funny element? I think we'll probably touch on that more. I wish Mimi would treat me like a watermelon. Mods, play the video! Buh, Diego, you strange critter. What do you mean, strange critter? Look at him. He's just very happy. Humo, thoughts on Ivy Deadlock? Ivy's a neat little creature. I know nothing about Deadlock other than Ivy. And that's just because the internet went crazy and really likes Ivy. Dino Shiv would go so damn hard. I love Shiv even though he can be a nightmare to fight against. What are we doing right now? We're yapping. Damn. Until we, for just a little bit longer before we go and hop over to do the readings. Finally cast aside my social cowardice to reveal my presence. Good eve. Hello, Bruno guy. Welcome. You have cast yourself into the pit. Hopefully you will survive. I remember Luis commenting on the ballistics. Yeah, anybody who played the original remembers that shit. Ha! Gary Oak into trash can. I don't remember when Kumquat was a diss. Yeah, kinda. Off that stizzy watching Humonoto. Good use of my Monday night. Sounds like a fun time there. Have a gun. What video? What do you mean, what video? Did I say a video? What is this Crash Bandicoot? Cute? Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot. Really? Really? Did I just... Okay. Music. Got any Halloween snoot lately? We will be getting Halloween snoot later in the month, from the Snoot Jam. Wait, Diego? By chance, does he have a sister named Dora who explores? If they pull that joke, I think I grab Roach by the neck and kill him. I think that's what happens if that happens. I've been trying too hard to keep my snoot wanty downward spiral to myself because I am what you call a hopeless degenerate. But yes, hello. Well, I would say you're with like-minded company. I mean, we have people who are thirsting over a fucking lunch lady that's in one still of this Hold On To Me game, so you know. He might mean the watermelon video you mentioned. Oh, right. Wait, Bats, do you not know about that? Wait, Bats, do you not know about that video? Oh. Sierra sent me a cursed fucking churro. One that makes my skin crawl. I do not like this creature, Sam I am. I do not like this creature with green eggs and ham. It brings me fear. Kill it. This one's fine. This creature can stay. Justified murder. I ate those forks, no spoons, but I did ingest some butter knives. Well, at least you got a varied little diet there. Trish mod now. I would rather be shot. Keep that trigger away from me. Diego's her cousin, he's not wrong. Kill. Better have a pet baby jaguar. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. Doesn't ring a bell. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Actually, I got it linked by someone. I just gotta check my DMs. I'm sure I'll find it. Who the hell sent it? It wasn't Schmoopy, right? Yeah, it wasn't Schmoopy. It was Kev. No. Perhaps. No. Ah, here we go. Good old Bon. I know if nobody got me, Bon got me, am I right?
Hmm?
Hey, Nua, check this out.
Watermelon. Uh-oh. Evil watermelon.
You are
Also, Umbra.
Nua, it's me, Dad. Open up, I forgot the keys. Nua, are you in there? Open up for God's sake. Nua!
Watermelon. I've indoctrinated 3 friends and 1 cousin into my snoot down spiral. Good. The more the merrier. What the? Not even under a bridge. Chiro Goku. I am the Chiro Maxer. I'm hungry for Nazar. Just one of those in there, randomly. Yeah, fair enough. I am making Wani FNF mod, Humo. Will you play? Perhaps. Perhaps. Squints at you. Hi. Hello, Yozaro. Yozora? Yeah, there we go. Yozora. Peak. Remember now? She had a Boobatron out. Don't point it out. YouTube will get really mad. Who's shorter, Trish or Chiro? I like to imagine Chiro, but I think canon height's probably Trish. My boy Umbra. Snoot Game straight up has made me want to actually write legit writing Snoot Game style story while watching this. Good. That's one thing that the games have done very well, giving people a reason to fucking go create. So estrus clubs end up like that Caravan Palace music video often, huh? Yeah. Mods when? Later in the month. Does he think Mimi can mimic voices or something? I think he's just sitting there thinking that could have been my head and I'm not letting anybody in. Maybe not the best way to flirt. I beg to differ. For some people, that's the perfect way to flirt. Chiro's like 5'2". Small creatura. I spent close to $300 for art right now. Good. Commission that art, motherfucker. Is the gobbler here? Who the fuck is the gobbler? Speaking of Leon, I haven't cut my hair for 4 months, so I'm going as RE4 Leon for Halloween. Just gotta get the sides trimmed and pray the jacket I bought online doesn't look like utter garbage. Hell yeah. RE4 Leon is definitely a good one to go for Halloween. Chiro's legit 5'2". I just need to know how much does Chiro weigh, because I need to have an idea of how hard can I chuck Chiro if need be. Ugh. Are you reading all of the bounties for the week or only a few? I'm gonna read all of the ones for the week 4. I'm gonna try and make it a habit to read all bounties for the week on like a designated stream. It would have been yesterday if I hadn't passed out literally all day. Mimi got the message across? Truly. Umo forgot, how dare he? What do you mean I forgot? I didn't forget shit. Humo the Gobbler was the first meme made in the server. Oh. Well, I guess I did forget that. Oh, right. This is a vintage one. Holy shit. This was during the fucking Haze Vor arc. God damn. Sure weighs about 350. Power of writing flow. Punch Shiro like a football. Ah, memories. That is old, holy cow. Damn, it's a historic flashbang. Fuck, man. That really is a bit of like a fucking throwback, isn't it? There's people here who are looking at this like, what does this even mean? And then there's the fucking oldies who are sitting there like watching as in the mirror as they wrinkle and wither. Sure weighs about a Whopper and a 40. I could definitely carry around Shiro. Easy. Hellish cow. What is Vor? Oh boy. Oh boy. Do you want the hard or soft Vor? Because there's a difference. Back with the cat profile pic and everything. Vor guy will die with that picture. Kevin, you don't know? I do. I've made it and I hate it. Nobody tell him what Vor is. Don't say hard or soft Vor. But that's part of the lore, Vise. You know this. You know that this is part of the lore. So Vor is the gratification it is gotten from. Oh, God. Do we ever know Naomi's parents or Reed's, Trish's, Rose's, Stella's, etc.? No. Parents lame. Nobody care about parents. Vor lore is a bore. The core Vor lore. It isn't cannibalism. I made that mistake. And then Big Shifter hopping in with the saint quote of the day. Oh Lord, my God and my Savior, why have you forsaken me? Have mercy upon me, only lover of mankind. Deliver me from the foul iniquity, so that I am not trapped in the snares of the evil one. Looks at Hayes. Deliver me from the mouth of my enemies. Send down a flash of lightning and drive it away. No parent info besides from what the spider creature posts. It can be cannibalism if it's hardcore. Exactly. You gotta remember, there's a difference. That's why you gotta be specific. We will see cannibalism today. Yummers. Feels good to have souls inside me again. I can feel them kicking. Stop that. Stop that. Hit you over the head with a fucking newspaper roll. Sounds like a System of a Down song. I miss when this was chat. When this chat was just yelling at Humo for voices. As much as I hate the parasaurs, I won't deny Cassandra is very hot. Well, do what you're gonna do, pints. Cannibalism can be vor, but not all vor is cannibalism. Still need to collect all the Goth Rosa pics. Big shift. How bad was Job's wife for Satan to leave her alive? Cord Lord 4 is a bore, yet I'm craving more. I've earned it. Come on, Humo. You're going to hell. Cars, you're going to hell. Don't I need to whip out the peanut butter and the Wani elevator comic now for old times? Do you want to? Victor, stop it with the fucking yummers! You're gumming up the chat! I really gotta have these prayers and quotes on docs for how long they are. Humo, would you read some cannibalism today? If they're in the fucking fix, yeah. Do you think Chiro would arrest you for pizza crimes? Maybe. How much does Chiro care about pizza? If Chiro cares about pizza a lot, then probably. But otherwise, I don't know. I feel like she'd just be like, food? Yes. Recommended reading to find out. Probably a good way to do it, right? Want to date a raptor or a long neck? Probably a raptor. The long neck would be a little off-putting for me. Speaking of the jam, I'm on a team for the mod jam. I heard there's like 4 or 5 other teams. We've got a last bit to sprint for the finish, but I'm hoping people do well. Horror's hard for me to write. Ooh, had a little bit of a hiccup there. I mean, I'm looking forward to the different submissions for that. It should be a good time. Daddy Humo about to whip out the belt. I don't like being called daddy. Why would you do that to me? Can someone eat a man without being labeled as vor? Christ, let a guy have some fun. Just call that hungry. Hungry man. Raptors are a lot stronger and cooler. Bond with the :O. Stop giving me more things to rhyme with vor. I'm gonna become Dr. Seuss at this point. Well, I mean, hey, Dr. Seuss is kind of cool, right? Was Dr. Seuss problematic? I can't remember. All I remember is rhymes. In my opinion, while I do think Olivia is better than Fang, I would rather date a Taro because those wing hugs sound like heaven. They'd probably be pretty comfy. Damn, where did all these E4 ending goes wrong come from for these snoot fics? Oh, people who want to hurt. People who like pain. Pain und suffering, perhaps? Humo, give us the Tootsie Roll. No. Key element to vor is living victim. My Google search is tainted now. Brother forgot to look in safe search, or not safe search, incognito. Did we go back in time now, or now we are talking about vor? A little bit. Nah, he wasn't problematic, he was cool, just like H.P. Lovecraft and his cat. Oh yeah, his cat. Let me look up his cat's name. Holy friggin' Christ, Lois. He cheated on his wife. Dr. Seuss did some very shitty things, TBH. Pints gets me. Dr. Seuss cheated on his wife while she was in the hospital with cancer. Evil man! Evil man with the cat in the hat! Raptor's got that feathery fluffiness. A few more streams and we'll return to piss talk. Oh, that'd be a real treat for you fuckers, wouldn't it? Go! Then the pizza talk. Dr. Seuss also wrote most of his rhymes at the Playboy Mansion. What a pull. Liz and Nessie have such boopable snoots though. Plus I love the idea of a long net wrapping their neck around me in a loving embrace. Hey man, chase your truth. Cars info dumping MLP lore. Oh yeah. Evidence suggests Lovecraft didn't name the cat. He was too young. I freaking love history. Seuss was also super racist. I bet Dr. Seuss wasn't even a real doctor. You know what? Fucking probably. Not racist, it was anti-Semitic. Oh, well, there you go. What about a little mop lore? Can we get some mop lore? Can we get lore about mops? How did mops come to be? I will fill this hoe with my dough. You say that you're not waiting Emily from Devlog to wrap you up too. Like you're not waiting for Emily from Devlog to wrap you up too. Emily's different. Not fair. Eh. The voice of Grogar died recently. He was also the DBZ episode announcer. Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. Some dude wanted to clean the floor with a broom, but the floor was stained. Ah, and then the mop came out. What's next? Is Captain Crunch actually not a captain? You'd be surprised. Can we have a stream going over Humo lore up and now? I need to know who I edged to in VC. Never mind, forget that. Crush Hayes with a hammer. You know, Humo lore stream wouldn't be terrible. I'd need to coordinate with the fucking lore masters though. Have them explain everything to me. I'm looking at Snoot Burrow. Y'all horny as fuck. I'm just here for the story. Well, unfortunately you're in Dino Fuckers United, so it's gonna be a rough time. Honestly, I'm so jealous of Ben getting with Lunara. That should have been me, not him. Fun fact, the chainsaw originated as a tool to aid in childbirth. I mean, yeah, like you don't have to worry about the child anymore if you hit it with a chainsaw. Do it as an iceberg though. Yeah, of course. Also, the whole wrapping their neck around you thing kind of seems uncomfortable. I don't know, it kind of just depends. It's kind of like a fucking weighted blanket, I think. Captain Crunch exposed himself in the playground. Oh no! Don't meet your heroes, kids. I did an iceberg that I need to update. You can always check the post 39881 for something wholesome. Do a draw my life, but everyone in the Discord is assigned a different image. That would be interesting. Then you make a slideshow for presentation. There's some good ideas. Just realized, in the Hold On To Me alpha, Nua has a lot of shading detail while the other character. I assume that's supposed to be do not, maybe?
What now? Is Mr. Clean dirty? That'd be so good. Please, Homo, let me draw you as a baby.
God damn it, Haste. Vice President DFL Dino Fuckers League. Matt Pat really didn't like commercials, so he created food theory. Baby Noto. When we get in the feet reveal. I just want to scroll up to your previous message. Why do you want a feet reveal? You freak. What if Hold On To Me was all in Mimi's head? No, it's been confirmed that Baby Mozart plays in Mimi's head.
What if it was hold on to Freak? And instead of holding on to Mimi, you hold on to her thighs.
Nostradamus' next prediction: some stupid dino's costume, or some stupid dinos consume the minds of hundreds of random people. They never recover. Implying we need to. Smile. Say wah like ASDF movie. Dog, I have not watched that shit in fucking forever. Autocorrect my #1 op. That's fair enough. Autocorrect really does like to kick people in the nuts. And it's when you least expect it, too. Be like wearing a snake around your shoulders. It'd be so soft and cooling. Start the reading so we can stop this madness. What if all the other 3 endings in Wani are just dreams of Olivia and Akoma and E1? Ah, I see. You are a motherfucker, yes? What if instead of devlog it was freaklog? I mean, given what some people have said about the characters, I feel like freaklog is what we make it. I mean, you got fucking Jake with Elliot or whatever, right? Where he was like chomping at the bit. The stream brings me back. It brings back some memories, dog. Stir his milk. Oh yeah, milking stream when. So many memories. Mimi's design is a little excessive in terms of thickness. Yeah, but she's the Giga Trigger, dog. She gotta beat that. What if Wario Dies video took place in this new universe? What do you mean? I had dyslexia, so I got IRL autocorrect for words I didn't type. Homo is pronounced hummus. Real hummus. What if instead of Humanoto it was Freak? No. You know what? I think it's time. I think we're just evolving at this point. I think I probably go ahead and start getting the readings done. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited for readings? You guys excited? Oh, let me go in order of submission here. All right, writing week 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 submissions. Yeah, 6 submissions. First person to submit is Wearisome, and his fic is called, or his writing, I don't know if you want to call it a fic or what, is Lanny and the Yippy Factory. So this evokes a certain what do I call this? A certain emotion from me. All right. Here we go. Let me go ahead and stop the music. There we go. Music is paused. We're good now. Alright. Can you get this shit out of here? Okay. I don't know what voice I'm going to do for all of these. I'm just going to like let it rock.
Once upon a time, there was a small boy named Lanny who lived in the quiet town of Humotopia. Now, Humotopia was known for its well-regarded mayor, Mr. Reed. He was an eccentric man who wore a tall black top hat and sunglasses at all hours of the day, as well as a strange choice of accessories. Mr. Reed was almost always accompanied by a small goose, who also wore a top hat, who was lovingly referred to as secretary by the mayor.
Humo, if you read real literature, shut your mouth.
One day, the little Lanny got a letter from the mayor which read, "Dear Lanny, I humbly request your presence at my estate on the eve of October the 30th.
Is stream dying or something? I don't know, is it? Guys, is stream okay? Hello? 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 No? Yeah, we're good? Okay. We're getting some Chat Livia voice reading stream after all these months. Yeah, if only I could turn on the cave noise, you know? Chat Livia reading from the... Actually, hold up a sec. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. One guy? Yeah, I know it's one guy, Cocainer. Let me see here. Voice mod. Does voice mod have the cave sound right now? There's a cathedral one. Hold up. Turn on the voice changer. What is this? Oh, this is gonna be pretty good. Hold up a sec. Alright. Where is my mic? Change it to... Is it this one? Okay. I don't know if it's working. Do I sound like I'm in a fucking weird ass place? A cathedral, perhaps? 'Cause I think I kicked it over to the voice mod. Yeah? Yes? Okay. Good. Alright. Here we go. Where were we?
I humbly request your presence at my estate on the eve of October the 30th. I have something very important that I've been working on in secret, and I think you could be quite the help. Sincerely, Mayor Reed. The news was exciting for Lanny. For a while, the people of Homotopia liked and tolerated Lanny. He was never seen as someone who could be truly helpful. Instead, he was known for being a silly little guy. However, Lanny knew he had great potential for helping others, which he did. He had just been content with his role as the fool, but now was his chance to prove himself by helping the mayor with his secret project.
Low opacity wide shot Olivia. Oh. Fine. You want it so bad, you can have it. You just gotta actually like fucking select. Okay, is this the right one? Nope. Alright. Wide shot Livia, you say? We can get wide shot Livia. Go wide shot. Go right, here you go. And then come in here to the filters. Let's see, what do I need to add to this again? The fucking, what about this color key? There you go. There you go. Okay. Back to it.
It was October 30th. The night was dark and stormy when Lanny arrived at the gates of the mayor's manor. The buzzing of the intercom could barely be overheard, the pouring of the rain. Hello, it's Lanny. I was asked to meet the Mayor Reed tonight, Lanny said while trying not to be soaked. A crack emitted from the intercom as the large cast iron gates opened, allowing Lanny passage to the manor. Once he got to the entrance of the estate's main building, the front door swung open, revealing the mayor in his usual getup. Lanny, I'm so glad you could make it despite the weather, the mayor exclaimed. Please come in for the cold. I have refreshments in the parlor. As they entered the parlor, Lanny noticed a tray with a large pitcher of blueberry juice, a stack of burnt Wonder Bread slices, and a 64-pack of craft singles. Thank you for inviting me, Mr. Reed. I can't wait to show everyone how much of a help I can be, Lanny said while taking a helping from the tray. It's no problem, my boy, the mayor chortled out. In fact, you're the only person that could have helped me. Huh? Why is that? Lanny replied before taking a bite of his burnt toast and cheese product. Well, you see, Homotopia is undergoing a bit of a labor shortage, the mayor said. I've been working on a device that would solve all our work-related problems. Let me show you. As he said that, a bookshelf automatically moved, revealing an old-timey elevator that led down to what Lanny assumed to be the basement. After they entered, the mayor began to speak. Now, Lanny, what you will see down here might shock you, but just know that it is all for the betterment of Homotopia. As the elevator stopped and its doors creaked open, Lanny saw a horrifying sight. The dimly lit room was filled with dozens of giant test tubes that seemed to have people floating inside of them. And the worst part of all, that I looked exactly like Lanny. Not Lanny, the man spoke up. I told you was a template for a revolutionary clone workforce. Since you're practically the town's mascot, I thought you'd be a perfect fit. And I wanted to formally ask for your consent before we begin trial runs. Lanny had so many questions floating in his head. But the first thing he was able to shout out was, "No, this is wrong, and this isn't how I want to be helping to the people of a town." "I'm afraid I can't take that as an answer," the mayor said, before Lanny suddenly felt unconscious. When Lanny awoke, he found himself tied to a wooden board with the mayor standing ominously over him. "I'm sorry I had to come to this, Lanny, but you left me no choice," the mayor said before pushing a button on the controller he held.
Hold up a sec. Yippy. I cocked my gun. What's going on over here? Yeah, sorry about that. I got a call from mi madre. Apparently my brother left his fucking phone on silent on the opposite side of the room. So when she was trying to call him to check up since he's sick, motherfucker was not picking up. But we're good now. Why are you gulping, Cars, huh? I'm not even going back through the chat. I'm gonna assume that you guys weren't acting a fool. I see there was a lot of pizza being handed around, but you know, other than that, pizza parties aren't illegal. Where the fuck was I? Stream died for me? What do you mean? Refresh now. Oh. Okay. Alright, so we'll start. Oh no.
When Lanny awoke, he found himself tied to a wooden board with the mayor standing ominously over him.
I'm sorry I had come to this, Lanny, but you left me no choice.
The mayor said before pushing a button on the controller he held. It was now that Lanny realized the board was on a conveyor belt, which led to a large wood chipper. Lanny began to scream and plead to the mayor, but he got no response. The mayor had already left, leaving poor little Lanny to his fate. As he cried, Lanny thought to himself, how could he end like this? What did I do to deserve this? And right before he entered the chipper, Lanny woke up in a cold sweat. It took him a moment to realize he was back in his room. The mayor had never sent him a letter. There were never any Lanny clones, and he wasn't about to die by the wood chipper. The end.
And that was the Yippy Factory. Truly peak cinema, I would say. Oh boy. Let me turn the fucking voice changer off here. There we go. Alright. Back to regular voice. Thank you, Humotron. Iconic Lanny Chipper incident. Oh boy. It was transformative. Tomato throw. I catch it and I take a big bite out of it. I actually don't. I'm not gonna eat like a fucking raw ass tomato. Alright. So that was the first submission of the week. Then we have Hayes' submission. The real one is epilog. The zip file goes with the story. Open after reading. Hug that gator.exe is a shitpost. Okay. So let's see here. So mockups.zip. All right. So we've got those. Go ahead and pull up epilog 1. Oh boy. This ought to be pretty good. Alright, let me pull it up. I think I'm just gonna leave like the fucking like transparent spooky chat livy in the background there. I'm trying to decide if I want to do like the chat livy voice for like all of these or not. Oh boy. If the tomato is homegrown, it's pretty damn... Oh, sorry. I just fucking blanked out. Homegrown, it's pretty damn good, especially with salt or Tajin. Well, I've never had a homegrown tomato, unfortunately. Too many ideas going on. I've got Snootcast as persona characters now. Snoot fan kids as Dadadan characters. Humo, raw dogs, tomatoes confirmed. Wrong. Alright, here we go. This is Epilog by Hayes. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna turn on the fucking voice changer for all these. Fuck it. We'll see how this goes.
Does anyone have any information on that sloppy whiny E1 mob epilogue? I managed to trigger on my first playthrough, but I can't get it to play again. It seems like there's no information about it anywhere, and it's driving me fucking crazy. To make this a bit easier, I'll attempt to clarify what I am and am not looking for. Please keep in mind I'm only human, so there could be a few mistakes between my recollection and reality. The E4 epilogue, I finished one since I know what the E4 epilogue is. It is what I'm looking for. The E1 credits. I saw the E1 credits the same night I saw the E1 epilogue. The epilogue played after the credits, so I'm sure this is what I'm looking for. The hospital scene, 17 with E1 credits. A mod or anything fan-made. I hadn't downloaded any mods at the time and still haven't. My Steam account isn't linked to anyone else's, and I live alone, so nobody else could have downloaded something without me knowing. Check the mod folder anyway just to be sure, and like I said, there's nothing. I've checked the file thoroughly, and I can't find even a single mention of the dialogue. I don't think I could have gotten the beta version of the game or anything, but maybe? I don't really know how it would work. I don't have any screenshots or videos of epilog either. I don't record random playthroughs of video games, and I don't take random screenshots of them either. I know that might seem like this is fake, but I'll do my best to try and convince you guys that I'm not a liar. As I mentioned, this is my first playthrough. I fucked up all the choices the game threw at me and got turned into E1. It seems as if everything was normal up to there, though maybe there were some differences in E1 itself that I just don't realize. That is, epilog shit started after E4 does. Credits roll, fade to black, fade back to surprise gameplay. So the game opened up to a new scene, though it was hard to even tell it did. The screen was still a solid black color, but when I clicked the text box appeared, it had no name, like when Inko thinks to himself. There wasn't any text for a while, but I kept clicking. Finally, a sprite did eventually fade in. It was Inko looking similar to that of his E2 future sprite. The main difference was that he's still wearing the blue jacket and a white shirt, contrary to the black polo E2 Inko wears. I remember stains on Inko's shirt as well, almost like the sweat sprites from early on in the story. This Inko looked like fucked, like overall, like he'd gotten no sleep for a while and he was struggling to feed himself. I assume this took place in the future, though I don't remember a specific date ever being mentioned. The black eye was gone though, so it had to be a while. Once Inko appeared, the background faded in behind him. A dark room, probably at night. It wasn't anywhere we'd seen before, I know that. Reminded me of a motel room, if anything. It also stood out to me the background was drawn in not a filtered photo like the majority of them, but it wasn't too unseen. Finally, the text box had some actual dialogue. There were no names, so this was Inko's thoughts. We'll say that I probably fuck up some of his text, but it should be close enough for the most part. I can't do this anymore, she won't leave. The Inko sprite didn't move or change of motion. Everything was static, almost unfinished. The only animation on the screen was that of the text coming into existence. She doesn't leave. I can't make her. I was a good person. Good people don't deserve. The last line is one I'm sure I remember perfectly. Specifically the fact that deserve was missing a period. Almost like someone deleted half of the sentence. If it was on purpose, I think that Inko would react in some way, but he didn't. He just kept rambling. She follows me. She doesn't realize I know, but I do. I know she's there. I don't know where I know she is. And on. This one might be a little off, but generally it was a long repeating loop of the prior. When that line finished, the scene finally changed. Inko's sprite started moving sporadically around the room, almost as if he was pacing. I don't really know, it wasn't very well animated. The text box appeared again, and I remember Inko's name was shown now. It was scripted, with Inko just repeating variations of, she follows me, over and over again. I tried clicking, but it didn't seem to do anything. That went on for a while, probably a minute or so. After that, there was this knocking S effects that played. It was one of those 3D audios, and I was wearing headphones at the time, and I practically threw them across the room. Inko stopped tweaking after that, back to standing still, and his sprite went back to normal. I tried clicking again, but all that it did was make that stupid loud fucking knocking S effects repeat, and it lost its scary effect on me after the first. And not only that, but the effect just kept getting louder and louder with every click, to the point where I had to take my headset off just to continue playing. Inko didn't really react to it. I remember it kind of looked like he was vibrating, or something, but that could have been in my head. I was kicking for a while, like at least a few minutes. I got pretty bored at that point and started scrolling on my phone to pass the time. Fucking idiot. My computer's muted, my headset's on the floor, and I'm looking down at my phone, and when I lift my head and see the screen, I'm halfway through an animation. Inko's on the floor and he's in a shadow or something. It looks almost as if it's floating. He looks up and you can see his eyes, and they're white as all hell. He mouthed something, which I'm sure is an actual, never mentioned voice line, but as stated earlier, I'm a fucking idiot and didn't even realize my volume was down yet. The camera shifts and we see that the shadow is, it's Olivia, but it's definitely not Olivia. She was contorted and disfigured. Like someone had taken Oliver joints and twisted him in the wrong direction. She was still in the skimpy red dress of E1, and most of her face looked as if he'd been beaten in. I don't really know how to put it into words. She was missing her eyes, or the shading made it look that way. The thing I remember most was the metallic shrapnel sticking out of her back, not as if she had been stabbed into her, but more as if it was growing from her body. It was very long and sharp, with some curling and others straight. It sat in her image for way too long, to the point where I thought the game had frozen. After that glimpse of Olivia, the camera turned back to Inko. We only saw him for a second, so this might not be perfectly accurate, but it looked as if he had been twisted as Olivia had been. I remember specifically his right arm had been broken, so his palm faced the sky. The game turned off after that. I turned it back on, and nothing seemed to be weird. The game booted up just fine, there wasn't anything. I didn't get the achievement for getting E1, which I thought was dead off. It was around this time I realized my volume was off, and I probably missed something in that cutscene, so I put my headset back on and tried to replay the epilog. Checked my autosaves, but they were all from earlier in E1. There was a police autosave anyway and skipped to the end, but the epilog wouldn't play again. I never could get it to restart. Is anyone willing to help me out here? I made a few mock-ups as to what I remember the Inko sprite, the room, and the distorted Livy looking like. Hopefully they help me hunt down whatever it is I played through, because the fact that I missed the dialogue is pissing me off. Anything helps.
And that is epilogue. And then there was the art that was shared with that, which we did, I believe, show on the previous stream, but I can pop them up again real quick. Give me just a second. Okay. Let's do display capture, please. So here was the withered Olivia. So withered Olivia, crusty ass Binko, and then Darun. And the Wazoo's green slime. Stalker Olivia. Olivia after trying the lean. And then, as it was said, there is hugthatgator.exe, which this one's a shitpost. Someone get her a glass of water. Pour water on her head. Olivia after she peeped the horror. Oh. Humo, you're in this one. All right, I'm gonna do this one regular. We'll keep the cathedral, but like I need to do one of these regular. Give my voice a little bit of a rest. Have you checked out the Trojan Horse of Destiny? I'm aware of it, but I have not looked into it. No. Can we peep the horror, please? No, guys, you can't peep the horror. Guys, you're not gonna peep the horror. Warning. This is scary. And a shitpost I made. I made a legit one as well. If you're wondering what this is referencing, read to the end or skip to the end like a fucking pussy-ass bitch. I'm a total Snoot game fan, much like everyone else. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or modded games before, though I don't think I want to play after the experience I had. It started on a nice February afternoon. I was playing I Want to Hug That Gator. I liked how you get to date the gator girls in it. Until I noticed out of my peripheral vision that an email had arrived and put something in my notifications as usual and left. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only thing in the inbox was an exe file and a note. I opened it up. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Humo, let's just call him that, whom I hadn't heard from in 2 weeks. I know that because I recognized his typing, though what was weird is how it was syntaxed. It looked badly written and rushed and somewhat difficult to read, as if Humo was having a hard time typing it down and did it in a hurry. This is what he wrote. Hayes, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing before it was too late, and I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it, she's after me, and if you don't destroy this EXE, she'll come after you too. She's too fast for me. Please, Hayes, destroy this godforsaken EXE before she comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the file, and you'll destroy her, but do it quick, otherwise she'll catch you. Don't even play the game, it's what she wants. Just destroy it. Please. Humo. Well, that was certainly weird. Even though Humo is my best friend and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, I didn't do what he asked me. I didn't think that a simple computer file would do anything bad to him. After all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was I wrong about that. Anyway, I looked at the file and it looks to be an ordinary computer exe, except it had black text on it written hugthatgator.exe, and it was much unlike Humo's typing, meaning that he must have gotten it from someone else, like a forum or eBay. When I saw Olivia on the writing of the file, I was actually excited and wanted to play it since I'm a big I Want to Hug That Gator fan. I started the file and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was just I Want to Hug That Gator. I was like, awesome, because like I said earlier, I like the classics. The first thing I noticed that was out of place was when I pressed start, there was a split second when I saw the title image turned into something much different. Something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. I remember what the image looked like in that split second before the game cut to black. The sky had darkened, the title emblem was rusted and ruined, the caveman was now instead Christmas. And the water had turned red like blood, except it looked hyper-realistic. But the freakiest thing that was in that split-second frame was Olivia. Her eyes were pitch black and bleeding with two glowing red dots staring right at me, and her smile had stretched wider to the edges of her face. I was rather disturbed about the image when I saw it, though I figured it was just a glitch and forgot about it. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so. And then another weird thing happened. The save file from Snoot game popped up, and I was like, what the fuck? What's going on in the Gator game? Anyway, then I noticed something off. The background was dark night sky, the winter formal from the endings, and there were only 3 save files. The music was that creepy Caverns of Winter music from Earthbound, only it was extended and seemed to have been in reverse. And the image for the save file, when you see a preview of the level you're on, is just red static for all 3 files. What freaked me out more was the character select. It showed only Inko, Anon, and to my surprise, Fang. Now, I was sure something was up. I mean, how can you play as a dino in a classic caveman game for crying out loud? That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game. It was a modded game. Yeah, it definitely looked modded. It was really creepy, but as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared, or at least I tried not to be. I told myself that it was just a modded game, and there was nothing wrong with that. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked file 1 and chose Inko, and when I selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds, and I heard a creepy pixelated screech that sounded an awful lot like racing games when you slam on the brakes before cutting to black. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more, then it showed the typical level chapter thing, except the simplistic shapes were different shades of red, and the text only showed Gator Act 1. The screen faded in, and the title level vanished, revealing Inko in the metro from Chapter 1. The music was different, though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyway, I started playing and had Inko start talking like you would in any of the classic Snoop games, which was odd what was odd was that Inko was talking along the story. There was nothing but flat ground and dinos for 5 minutes. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down into slow, deep tones, very slowly as I kept going. I suddenly saw something and stopped to see what it was. It was one of the nameless dinos lying dead on the ground bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. Inko had a shocked and saddened look on his face that I never saw him have before, so I had him move along, and he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead dinos as Inko moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music lowers and he moves past more dead dinos. I was shocked to see how they all died. They looked like somebody killed them in rather gruesome ways. A parasaur was hanged on a tree with what appeared to be his entrails hanging out. A raptor had all 4 of his limbs torn off, and a pterosaur had his eyes gouged out and his throat slit. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Inko. After a few more seconds, there were no more dinos and the music seemed to have stopped. Still, I kept Inko to continue. After a minute passed after the music stopped, Inko was running up to the school, and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Olivia was there on the other side of the screen with her back against Inko with her eyes closed. Inko looked happy to see Olivia, but then his smile faltered, obviously noticing that Olivia wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if she was totally oblivious to Inko's presence. Inko walked slowly toward Olivia, and I noticed that I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make him move, so this had to be a cutscene. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feeling of dread as Inko walked closer to Olivia to get her attention. I felt that Inko was in danger and something bad was going to happen. I heard faint static growing louder as Inko was but inches away from Olivia and stopped and stuck his hand out to reach her. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Inko to get away from Olivia as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Olivia's eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots just like in the title image, though there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds, and then white text appeared forming a message saying, "Hello, do you like hugging dino women?" At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue with the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level with the chapter title now saying Hide and Seek. This time I was at Volcano High from Snoot Game, and it looked like everything was on fire. Inko looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me as if he wanted to get out of the area he was in as fast as possible. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Inko was actually breaking the 4th wall, trying to tell me to get him out of there. So I pressed down on the control key as hard as I could and made him talk as fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Susie in the hallway from Deltarune was playing as I made Inko trek through the desolate school, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly I heard that creepy screech again, that awful car screech. Right after 10 seconds had passed as I helped Inko run through the school, and then I started seeing flashes of Olivia popping everywhere on the screen, again with those black and red eyes. Suddenly, the music changed to that suspenseful ending 1 jingle as I see Olivia behind Inko slowly gaining up on him, hovering. Olivia wasn't rolling, she was actually hovering. The flying pose her sprite was making looked very similar to Olivia's happy pose in Wani, except it was just Olivia, and he had the black and red eyes again only. This time, she had the most deranged looking grin on her face. She looked as though she was enjoying the torment she was giving the poor little skinny as she gained up on him. Suddenly, when Inko tripped, another cutscene, the music stopped and Olivia vanished. Inko laid there and started crying for 15 seconds. The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and I kind of teared up myself. But then Olivia appeared right in front of Inko, and Inko looked up in horror. Blood started to come down those blackened eyes of Olivia as a grin slowly grew from her face as she looked down at the horrified Humi. I could do nothing but watch. Just in a split second, Olivia lunged at Inko right before the screen went black. There was a loud screaming noise that lasted 5 seconds. The text returned, only this time it said, "Your ass, want to try again?" And then that god-awful screech came with it. I was so shocked by what had happened. Did Olivia murder Inko? No, she couldn't have. She and Inko are supposed to be lovers, right? Why did Olivia do that to him? I shook the shock off as I was brought back to the character select. The save file that had Inko was different. Inko was no longer in the box itself, but in the save image itself, which was flickering with that red static. Inko's expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. His blue jacket had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face, trying to ignore it. I picked Anon next. The screech came again, and the screen cut to black again and stayed there for another 10 seconds. This time, the level said, "I can't run." I was really freaked out by now. I couldn't really tell if this was a glitch or a mod or some kind of sick, twisted joke, or anything really. But despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. The next level looks much different. It had the ground of Skin Row, but the sky background looked like the Wani main menu. It had the gray, whitish, cloudy sky. But it was the music that creeped me out the most. It sounded like that one really fucking scary Minecraft disc. I also noticed that Anon looked afraid just like Inko did, though not as much. More rather, he looked a little unnerved. He broke the fourth wall just like Inko and looked as if he wasn't sure about going on, but I made a move anyway. He moved down the straight alleyway in this dark chapter, and as he did, the screen started to flicker red static a couple times, and then that maddening screech came again. Then, after a few seconds of running, I noticed several bloodstains on the paved ground. I felt a growing sense of fear again, thinking something horrible was going to happen to Anon. He looked nauseated walking down this blood-stained road, but I still kept him going. Suddenly, as Anon ran, Olivia appeared right in front of him with those black and red eyes, and then red static appeared again. When the static vanished, showing nothing but black screen with the text box saying, "Found you." I was now scared. Olivia found Anon already? What was going on? Anyway, red static came again, and then I was back to the level. Anon looked like he was panicking, and Olivia was nowhere to be found. And this time, that high-pitched squealing from Silent Hill 1's final boss was playing. Was this some kind of boss battle with Olivia? I hoped Raptor Jesus it wasn't, honestly. Suddenly, Olivia appeared right behind Anon in what appeared to be a pixelated black smoke. I saw Anon turn and then punch Olivia, but Olivia vanished in black pixelated smoke before I could even land a hit. That terrible screech went off again. Then Olivia appeared behind Anon again, and he punched again, and Olivia vanished again with that tire screech. Anon was panicking even more, and even I felt like I was going crazy. Olivia was practically playing with us. She was playing a sick, twisted little mind game with me and Anon. Another cutscene played as Anon fell to his knees and clutched his head, sobbing. I felt his agony. Olivia was actually driving both of us crazy. And then, in a split second, Olivia lunged at Anon, and the screen went black with another distorted screaming noise that lasted for at least 3 seconds. Another text box appeared. So many humans to play with, so little time. Would you agree? What the hell? Just what is going on? I started to think Olivia was actually trying to talk to me through the game, but I was too scared to think that. I was brought back to the main menu, and this time, the second file box had Anon in the save image screen. His green coat had darkened to a reddish gray, his bald head was dripping with blood, and his eyes were black and bleeding too, and he had the look of sadness on his face. I began to think that those are the actual characters trapped in those images on the save files, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. So I shut off the game and took a break. I took a nap. Wish I hadn't, because I then began to have the most disturbing nightmare. I was in pitch black darkness, though I was under the light given off by a lamp hung high above my head. I could hear the cries of Anon and Inko nearby. They were saying stuff like, "shit," and "I used to think about loving," and "Dino Puss is not worth it." Their cries died out as I then heard Olivia screech, her screech. It sounded a lot like a distorted car screech. "You're a lot of fun to play with, kid, just like your friend Humo, though he didn't last long." I was scared and looking around for the source of the voice. "Won't be long now until you join him and all my other friends." I saw her rolling toward me, flickering in and out in several directions. "You can't run, kid." You're in my world now, just like the others. When she grabbed me and I saw her bleeding, black and red-eyed, grinning face, I woke up with a fright. After a couple hours, I decided to continue playing the game. I don't know why, but I had to know. I had to figure out why this was happening. So I turned on the computer, turned on the game, and then selected Fang next. I still thought that was wacky, playing as Fang, but anyway, the level title appeared again, and this time it said, ... which I found really freaky. This time I was in some kind of hallway. Didn't really look like it was from any of the classic Olivia games, though it has the pixelated style. The floor was shiny and checkered, the walls were a dark grayish purple with animated light bulbs, and a few dark bloodstains here and there, and there was a dark red curtain hanging above on the top part of the screen. Every 12 seconds or so, that red curtain sways very slowly, but whenever you're playing the game, you can barely see it move. The music was oddly pleasant, a piano playing a rather sad yet peaceful song, but I knew better. This song was the one that played in Snoot E3, only it wasn't in reverse. Fang didn't look entirely nervous like Inko and Anon did, but they did have a suspicious look on their face, as if they were just a bit paranoid. They did a little animation when I just left them idle, their sprite flipping to the left and right, left and then to the right at least twice, and then shrugs at me, as if they have no idea where they were or what was going on. Even though I was scared out of my mind about what was going to happen, I had Fang continue onward. They did their usual movement animation, you know, when you've clicked forward and they just slide around, as we continued down through the hallway. Then I stopped at a long flight of stairs leading downward. Now I was nervous. Even Fang seemed unsure of themselves, though I pressed onward. As I led Fang down the stairs, I tried to go back with Fang, but they just always fell on the stairs. I noticed that the walls had gotten darker and more reddish. The red lights are now an eerie blue. Then we landed onto another hallway. This one was longer than the last one, or at least it felt like it. And then we headed down another flight of stairs. This one was much longer, took at least 1 full minute. And then I heard that horrid screech again. And then the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red, and the bulbs were a black light now. When Fang landed onto the third hallway, I noticed they now looked really creeped out. Though they tried to hide it, I couldn't blame them. I was scared too. Suddenly, Olivia popped right in front of Fang, the same way she did at Anon, and then red static. The red static lasted for about 15 seconds, and then it showed me a most unpleasant CG. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Olivia sitting in darkness, where you can only see her face, while her head and torso faded into black. And when I say hyper-realistic, I mean like she looked so real you could actually see the lines in her green scales, as if you could actually feel the scales if you touched the screen. Her face. Oh God, she had the most horrifying smile I'd ever seen. And that's saying something, considering I saw that image at the start of the game. Her eyes are wide and black and once again crying blood, which also looked hyper-realistic. And there were 2 small glowing red dots in those black eyes staring right at me, as if staring into my mind. Her grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the sides of her face like a Cheshire cat, except Olivia had fangs, very sharp fangs, much like her growl sprite, except more vicious looking, somewhat yellowish, and from the look of it, she had stains of blood and small bits of flesh on her lips and fangs as if she ate some animal. I stared at that gruesome image for a good 30 seconds, never taking my eyes off it. I felt as if she was actually looking at me, smiling at me. That face, it just took 10 seconds for it to etch itself into my brain for good. Then the screen flickered with red static again 3 times, and on the 3rd time, I heard the screech, except this time it sounded distorted, demonic even. It went back to the image again, except this time there was text again, though it was messed up, but it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I had looked at since I had this game. I am Raptor Jesus. It was when I read that message while looking at Olivia, when it hit me, I realized right there and then, this Olivia was a monster, a pure evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster, and all of her victims, including Inko, Anon, Fang, and possibly Humo, are little toys. And the game is the very gateway into the chaotic, nightmarish world and the very hell their victims are trapped in. Suddenly, in an actual split second, I screamed as Olivia lunged at the screen, screeching loudly, with her mouth wide open to an unnatural length, revealing nothing but a literally spiraling abyss of pure darkness before the red static came again, this time much louder and distorted, so loud that it hurt my ears. I yelled and grabbed my ears as the red static screeched for a good 7 seconds. Then it stopped and showed nothing but black screen. As I sat there staring at the screen, one last text came up. Ready for a whiny gator hug too, Hayes? The screech, now sounding more clear as if Olivia was right behind me, played again 3 times as I looked at that text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted back to the main menu, and this time the third save file had a save file image of Fang in the same tormented state as Inko and Anon. Fang's skin turned a duller gray, their hair drooped and had blackened, their snoot broke and blood is coming from them, and they had a near dead-like expression on their face. I looked at Inko, Anon, and Fang and I cried a bit. I pitied them for the agony they're going through. They were forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by that horrid gator, and always will be. Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it on, no matter what I did. I sat there for maybe 25 seconds, horrified by what had just happened. Olivia is the very embodiment of evil. She tortures people who play her game in more ways than one, and then, when she gets bored, she drags you into the game, literally drags you to hell, where she can play with you always as her toy. I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there, but at least I managed to turn it back on now. After I sat there for 25 seconds, I heard a voice behind me, like a whisper. Gator. I turned around to see where the voice came from, and what I saw made me scream. Sitting on my bed, staring right at me, was an Olivia plushie, smiling with bloodstains under its eyes. And she tried to kill me, and I destroyed my computer with my dad's axe. The game is in there. So that Olivia plushie screamed and was on fire, and she died. That means I did it. I won. And I heard a knock on the door, so I opened the door and I saw my best friend Humo, and we played normal dinosaur visual novel games together. And that's all, folks, for now. If you actually fucking read all of this shit, it's Sonic EXE. You just fucking read Sonic EXE in its entirety, slightly edited to be Snoot related. You're a fucking idiot if you didn't realize that. A fucking fool. Fuck you, dumb bitch. Holy shit. Oh, I forgot how shit Sonic EXE is. Oh, God. Well done, Hayes. Well done. That is goofy as all hell. I couldn't hold myself together when it was like the fucking start, because I was like, oh my god, this is literally just Sonic EXE. Ah, god damn. I could not imagine doing the chat Livia voice for that entire fucking thing. I probably would have died. Okay. Next on the docket, we got a submission over Fable _V666.exe. And this is a submission from Receiver K. Jake pissing from laughter right now. I should have seen if he wanted to be on for this one. That way he could help me read. Oh, crack my neck a little bit. No more cathedral, please. All right, we'll leave the cathedral off. We'll do a regular reading here. All right, over Fable V666. All right, here we go. Get this full screen for myself. Here we go. All right. Again, this one is written by Receiver K. Let me get a good sip of water. Note, this is a work of satire, and while express permission was given by Jake and Humo to use their names, all likenesses basically end there. Enjoy. I don't know why I'm typing this, but maybe because I have to warn others so that what happened to me does not happen to them. I am the streamer man known as Humonoto, but that's all ended now that I was sent a mysterious game file by one of my viewers. I woke up like any other day and went to my computer to set up for stream. Except today I didn't know what I would stream today. Fucking real. So I went to DM Jake to see what he thought I should stream. Except I had a new DM notification in Discord from Reficule999. Hello Humanoto, big fan of your streams, but you should play this game that my friend found on the dark web. Attached was a file named overfable_v666.exe. I scanned the file for viruses, but nothing pops up, so at least it's safe. Or so I thought. I DM'd Jake. Hey Jake, have you heard of a game called Overfable? He responded instantly. You mean that game that a bunch of kids who died of seizures all had on their computers when they died? Yeah, why? Someone just sent it to me to play it on stream. That's fucking hilarious. We should play it. Didn't you just say a bunch of kids died playing it? Yeah, but we're not kids. Well, he was right, so I couldn't really say no at that point. Okay, shouldn't we screen it in case it has something that's against TOS? Nah, you'll just have to turn off the stream really quick if there is. He was right, we didn't have enough time or have anything else better to stream that night, so I hopped into the streaming channel and Jake joined seconds later. Yo, Humo, what's up? Not much, man, what's up with you? Oh, I was gonna write more Punch Drunk, but ended up planning out the 3 fics that will come after it, start to finish. Like just now? Well, a bit ago, so that I could finish the planning. Ah, right, that makes sense. We made small talk while I got the stream set up. The chat was already making fun of me for being 1 minute late. I rolled my eyes and made sure Jake was ready before starting the stream up. Hey guys, today we're going to be playing something special sent by a viewer. Overfable version 6.66. The chat lit up with "Let's fucking go" and other cheers. Maybe Jake was right. I thought this was a good stream idea, but I know better now. The game started with 16-bit graphics lore dump about a war between humans and devils that ended with the devils being sealed underground. Wait a second, I asked. Is this just ripping off Undertale? Jake corrected me. No, dude. This game was made in, like, 2000-something. Some people say it's what inspired Toby Fox in the first place. I thought it was Mother that did that. Chat, Humo thinks you can only be inspired by one thing at a time. No, I don't. The lols filled the chat in the blink of an eye, and I had to sit and stew after that epic burn. I quickly moved on with some comment about the story being beat for beat with Undertale's. Like, it was almost an exact copy, even the child protagonist falling down a deep dark hole with a chiptune song as backing. When I was able to control the character, the entire first area played out the exact same too. You meet a murderous plant called Weedy, which Jack couldn't stop making 420 jokes about. A sheep woman takes you in, and you end up having to fight her to go to the next area. The humor was kind of different, and the dungeon layout wasn't the same, but at some point I asked, dude, am I just playing an Undertale reskin? You're pranking me, aren't you? What? No, Jake said. Seriously, things apparently really switch up when you leave the first area. I decided to trust him because the game was fun so far. But when I fought the goat woman to leave, I accidentally killed her and the graphics became hyper-realistic for a fraction of a second. I swear I saw a fresh bleeding wound appear across the pixelated sprite. What? Did you see that? See what, Umo? Nothing. I figured it must have been my imagination, but it looked way too real. When I entered the next area, I swear the graphics increased to 32-bit. I didn't bring it up that time, or chat would have flamed me for having bad eyes or something like that. At least no one was calling me Mr. Trish or Mr. One-Go anymore. But then it got really weird. Right on the bridge that you normally meet Sans on, there was a glitching black splotch. it was so out of style that I thought my monitor's pixels were dead and had to pause stream to make sure it was normal. When I brought the game back up, it was gone. I kept trying to joke with chat, but I was starting to get a little weirded out. The next area was a bunch of snowy, straight hallways that kept looping with small changes here and there. After about 3 minutes straight of walking forward over and over again, I was about to give up. But then he appeared. It was a hyper-realistic creature that looked like a flayed skeleton with horns. When I pressed to interact with him, the perspective changed and his face was put on the screen. His text was read with a low droning sound that made my brain hurt. I am Roboto. You made a mistake coming here. Then he was gone and the looping hallways continued. This game's kind of mid. Maybe we should stop, Jake. What? No, come on, man. I bet it's just about to get good. Silently trudged on, not so sure. Something I wish I hadn't done. As the hallways continued on, they slowly continued to become more and more bloody. The pixel graphics were completely gone now, and everything looked almost too realistic. Every now and then I would have to interact with Roboto again to progress. There is no salvation. The seven demand both your souls. God is alive, but death to your prayers. Jake was having a great time laughing at the classic 2000s absurdist humor, but I was getting really shaken up now. At this point, I just wanted to get a good stopping point and find a way to change it to another game, to anything. But that wouldn't happen. Instead, the final area was a boss fight with Roboto, where I couldn't deal any damage, and each of his attacks were full screen one-shotting me and then reviving me over and over again. Alright, clearly this game's bugged, so I'm just gonna... And just as I was about to hit Alt F4, the music cut out and Roboto's face appeared in black void on the screen. His text noise made me feel like I was going to throw up. Now choose which one of you matters more. Jake, Humo. How does it know our names? I creamed, says the text. Calm down, man, Jake laughed. You put your name at the start of the game. How does it know your name then? Jake's just a common name? Maybe it has voice recognition. I'm just gonna close the game. No, wait! I want to see what happens when you pick me. I really didn't want to, but Jake kept begging. Part of me is curious too, but now I know why they say curiosity killed the cat. I clicked Jake option and the screen went black. I thought my PC totally died for a second, but then noticed the stream was still up on my second monitor. Jake? Chat? Is this thing still up? Then all at once, the deafening sound of a million screaming people played as the screen flashed with demonic symbols and gore so fast that I couldn't even process it to stop the stream in time. I'm so getting banned, I thought. If only that was the only thing that had happened. Then I looked at the chat and was horrified to see dozens of messages appearing, threatening me, all in Roboto font. You'll burn together soon. Betrayal is the lowest circle. Was it worth it, Mr. Streamer? For the love of God, please do the Fang voice. I need it. There will be no reprieve, only pain. Then all at once the power went out in my house. I scrambled quick from my phone to call Jake, but he wouldn't pick up. After about 10 tries, I checked my messages to see the last one from him was right when everything got crazy. Roboto is here. I rushed over to his house as quickly as I could and found that the door was unlocked. But I was so scared I didn't rush in even when I realized the door was unlocked. And I was lucky I didn't, because when I pushed the door open, it was pitch black, and I realized that when I looked down, it looked exactly like the hole you fall at the start of the game, with a patch of green grass ready to catch me. In the distance, I heard Jake's voice echoing, yelling for me to jump, but it sounded wrong, like it was him, but it wasn't. His voice made my head hurt, and I slammed the door shut and ran all the way back home. That was 3 hours ago now. And I'm writing this to warn the world before I go to try to save Jake from whatever he was taken by Roboto. Whatever you do, if you ever come across Over Fable, do not play it. Oh my god. Do the Fang voice, Mr. Streamer. God damn. Oh, that tickles. That tickles. Holy shit. Dude, this one's the cursed Undertale copy with evil robot. Fuck, man. Accurate depictions all around. As if I'm so bozo tier. We needed Jake for that one. It would have been good. I agree. Man. Alright, let's see what's next on the docket here. Next would be the submission from Cars. This one's called Clicker Clacker. Pissing myself currently, pants are drenched, so scary. Not accurate, I wasn't in chat being freaky. What do you mean? You were the one asking for the Fang voice in the Roboto text, I'm sure. Alright, here we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. Kumo ran real quick to Jake. I'm gonna kill Cars with a fucking hammer. Alright, I did say I was gonna read these, so here we go. Next one. Clicker Clacker by Cars. Outside of the Everfree Forest, October 12th, 2023, 8:23 p.m. Now, why'd you bring us out here again? Applejack, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy stood at the edge of the forest. Pinkie had woken them up, babbling about some monster in the Everfree. Regardless of their moods, both Applejack and Fluttershy had complied and accompanied each to check it out. Pinkie turned around to face Applejack with a wide grin on her muzzle, because apparently there's a super duper scary monster in the forest. Fluttershy raised her hoof to ask a question and Pinkie looked at her. But why did we have to do it now, at night? Fluttershy's eyes followed Pinkie's movements as she appeared behind her. Having dealt with her for so long, these things aren't surprising anymore. Pinkie giggles and ruffles her hair. Then it wouldn't be scary, silly, she says. Fluttershy pouts and lowers her head. Pinkie continues, but also it only appears at night. It's scared of the day. Voice commitment. You're getting like the most mild voice commitment here. Applejack speaks up again, lifting a hoof and tilting her head to the side. But Pinkie, why us? Couldn't you have gotten to our Rainbow Dash? Pinkie once again appears behind Applejack and laughs. I actually was debating on Rainbow Dash, but I'm funner to write. Come on, let's go. Oh, I'm gonna kill this man. I'm friendshipping out. Pinkie bounces into the forest, leaving Fluttershy and Applejack to wonder what she meant during the last part. They both shake their heads and follow Pinkie into the forest. For a few minutes, the only thing that could be heard was Pinkie's ramblings, along with her bouncing. She was in the middle of telling a story to Fluttershy while dodging poison, joke, and spider webs. And that's why I kept my pillow out of reach while he visits. Pinkie grins while Fluttershy just looks disturbed. Applejack tuned out the conversation a while ago and is now leading the group. Eventually, the group reached a clearing in the forest with a pond in the middle. The moonlight reflected off the surface, lighting the place ever so slightly. Applejack sat down and released a long breath. All right, look, we'll rest here. I'm tired of walking around this dumb forest. Pinkie stops bouncing and looks at her friends. Hey, this is a great time to tell you guys another story. I call this one the Clicker Clacker. Came here for snoot fix, getting force-fed MLP fix. This world is a fucking prison. Fluttershy also took her seat as Pinkie Pie galloped to the front and pulled out a flashlight. She then turned it on and placed it under her muzzle, illuminating her face while casting shadows over her eyes. Long ago, there was a young colt who was blind. Him and his mother lived near the outskirts of Ponyville, just like you and Fluttershy. She pointed at the yellow pony and smiled. Since this colt was blind, he had improvised on a way to get around without the help of his mother.
so he decided to use echolocation. By clicking his tongue, he was able to use the sound of bouncing off objects to get a mental image of the world around him.
Pinky gestures around her.
How amazing is that? Anyways, so this colt used clicking to get around. At first, his mother was so proud of him, but as the years passed, the clicking really started to annoy her. Eventually, however, the mother went insane. Every day she would hear the clicking first thing in the morning, noon, and it's the last thing she heard before going to sleep.
Pinky clicked a button on the side of the flashlight, which made the light turn red.
So one night, the mother took him to the lake and drowned him.
Pinky waves her hooves in the air in a mock attempt at being spooky. Applejack just looks annoyed while Fluttershy looks conflicted. Between Pinky waving her hooves in the story and between her hooves in her face in the story, she didn't know what to feel. Applejack speaks up. Pinky, you got us out in this damn forest at night looking for a monster. Please don't scare Fluttershy. Fluttershy waves it off.
Oh, it's quite all right, Applejack. Her silliness kind of balances out.
Pinky then perks up again, appearing between AJ and Fluttershy.
Oh, and that kitten is now a monster that can track ponies by clicking in their general direction.
She ends the sentence with a grin. Fluttershy decided that scared would be the appropriate response and shrunk back. Applejack had a disturbed expression on her face. Suddenly, from across the lake, clicking could be heard, along with dull hoof steps. The group turned around to see the creature and saw it emerge from the tree line. It was tall, about a head taller than Celestia. Its eyes were gray and had a physique of an old pony. Its head hung low, and it would open its mouth occasionally. The group stood in fear. Even Pinky was sweating. Applejack ruffled the grass underneath her to get the other two ponies' attentions. Looking back, both Fluttershy and Pinky waited with bated breaths. Applejack motioned with her eyes to start walking towards her so they can leave, or at least get a head start. They began walking towards AJ, the creature staring at them, but the group knew he wasn't actually looking at them due to being blind and all. Suddenly, the still air was ripped apart by one single click, emanating from the creature's mouth. The echo sounded loud, bouncing against the water and rocks that littered the pond. The group stopped, their eyes the size of pinpricks. Not even a breath escaped them as the creature made a slight adjustment to look at them directly.
Mama.
Applejack screamed at the other two, "Run!" The three ponies booked it, dodging and weaving through the forest back the way they came. They could hear the rustling of leaves and snapping of branches behind them as the monster gave chase. Occasionally, they would hear the thing click its tongue again, followed by near-complete silence other than their own breathing. After a few minutes of running, Applejack slows down to catch her breath. The clicking noise had stopped and the rustling of leaves followed along with it. Applejack looks around and realized she had gotten separated from Pinky and Fluttershy during the chaos. Applejack started to panic. Who knows when that thing would be back? She took a deep breath and let it out, calming herself. Pull yourself together, AJ. They gotta get out. They probably got out. I'll have to regroup with them soon. Who knows? Maybe that thing left. Applejack was frozen. She heard the clicking resume, and it sounded like it was getting closer. She turned her head to look behind her, only to be met with a rotten leg. She looked up and was face to face with the demon born out of insanity.
Found you.
Ah, for buck's sake. The monster chomped down on Applejack's upper half, her other half falling to the ground. Because the teeth of ponies were not made for consumption of meat, it failed to bite clean through. The large intestine was still squeezed between the teeth of the monster. Noticing this, slurped it up. Applejack has died. Dun dun dun. Really? That's how I die? I don't fight back or nothing? Applejack asked in a mild annoyance and confusion. Across from her was Pinky, dressed in cyan pajamas. Pinky just shrugged and smiled. Well, it had to kill some pony in the story. Then it wouldn't be scary. Applejack face hooved. Well, I get it, but why like that? Couldn't I have gone down fighting? Pinky stayed silent. Forget I asked. Applejack glanced around. Sleeping bags were everywhere. Most of them were filled by her sleeping friends. Sleeper was kind of randomly planned. Pinky had gone to each of their doors and invited them to Twilight's treehouse. Something about a bounty? Regardless, Applejack tiredly sighed and turned back to Pinky. It's getting late, Sugar Cube. Your pony's already asleep. We only stayed up to hear a story to tire us out. Clearly worked for Flutters here. She motions over to the sleeping pony. A new voice speaks up from the pile of sleeping bags on the floor.
I think that story was pretty cool, especially the last part.
Rainbow Dash says, eyeing Applejack with a shit-eating grin. AJ just rolls her eyes and lays down, trying to get comfortable. Pinky smiles at Rainbow Dash.
Thanks, Dashy. I spent about a week writing it. Got some inspiration from an old stallion.
Things quiet down with Pinky and Rainbow feeling the effects of staying up late, and eventually they snuffed out the last lantern. Applejack jolted awake, hearing the clicking once again. It sounded close. She looked around to see if the others heard it. They were fast asleep. By this point, Applejack was starting to panic. She was about to reach out to Twilight before she heard a snicker. Applejack whispered harshly at the culprit.
Rainbow, that scared me. Jeez, go to bed already.
Rainbow Dash looked to be on the edge of laughter, but she held it in. She then responded with a whisper of her own.
Relax, AJ. Pinky literally said she made it up. Never knew you were such a wuss.
That gets another eye roll from Applejack. Pinky chimes in this time.
Yeah, Applejack. It's just fun, but also super duper scary story.
Applejack sighs and lays down once again, the other two ponies following suit. The latter began snoring, while just Pinky was able to fall asleep quickly. Rainbow was still in the land of the waking, the snoring proving difficult to sleep through. She sighs in frustration and turns on her side. Rainbow freezes and looks towards Applejack, but seeing how she's still snoring, it couldn't be her, so that left.
Pinky, knock it off. I was ready for AJ, but now I'm actually tired. Pinky!
Rainbow Dash realizes it wasn't either of them making the clicking noise. She suddenly gets a cold feeling on her back. She turns her head and is face to face with the open mouth of the clicker clacker.
Ah, fuck.
Hi, Pinkie Pie here. Hope you enjoyed this attempt at a creepypasta. Fun fact, this wasn't originally going to be an MLP fic, but a wise old man gave me an idea. Pretty neat, huh? I also included Applejack in the story. There you go. There's your fucking MLP fic. The pizza is aggressive, indeed. The clicker clacker is aggressive. Most 2012 core thing I've heard this month. It really is worse than Object Terror. Mine's up next, and I can't wait to hear Humo read this. Oh, alright. Next one on the docket. We got False Green, short version, by Draco G. Let's go ahead and get that one pulled up. No more horse stories. I guess you could say no more horsing around, huh? Mine's pretty long. Is that okay? Yeah, it should be fine. Should be fine. Though we are not doing it on the chamber chapter tonight. That much I am very clear on at this point. -2? Fuck you, Vice. That was like a +2. Hold your horses, see? Buck you, Humo. Fucking crushes you with a big hammer. I need to get more objects to, like, crush people with than just the big hammer. I always resort to big hammer. No, none in the chamber. -5. Dog, we're gonna be like 3 hours in. I'm not turning this into like a 4.5, 5 hour stream. Alright. Here we go. When I heard that the blue fucker who called me a bitch during the concert is dead, I almost wondered if it was completely wrong that I feel a small sense of happiness that he's gone. Funnily enough, that feels like the one positive thing to happen today, although being questioned about it, since me and Reed were the last ones to see him in person when we were cleaning out the auditorium sucked. My dad certainly had some choice words with me before I arrived, since the police chief's daughter being accused of murder, even if false, was not a good look for him publicly. After they looked at the security cameras, it was clear that I did nothing, so I got sent back home. From what they told me in the interrogation, and from watching the news, the body was found in a small forest next to the school. It was even stranger, the dude's body was in pieces and impaled on branches and trees. When I laid down that night, I could feel the same pressure I felt at school from that human. The feeling as if the air around me got heavier and stuck to my skin. It was different it was in a way softer. It was still heavy and encompassing, but more like a hug from all sides or being wrapped in a weighted blanket. And it was lasting more than just a second like it was at school. I wasn't sure what to think of it. I was still either on the effects of whatever it was I drank from Reed's bag, or I was going crazy. The feeling was comforting, so I just decided to go along with it and enjoy it while it lasted. Before my eyes closed, I think I saw the shadows move a little, lights among them on the walls. When I woke up the next morning, I thought back to the dreams I so vividly remember, the gargantuan bodies of things unimaginable hung up on thorns the size of cities, or of the figures wrapped in a cloak of purple bark, and those bright, caustic green eyes in the luminous void that smelt of plants and flowers, but at the same time the smell of blood was mixed in with it all. Of the figures suddenly appearing before me with what looked like a heart in the appendage, I can only assume is a hand, but made of twisting black wood with claw-like thorns at the end of what are fingers, and wrapped along the arm of the figure are pink. Oh, that's a type of fucking flower. Hyacinths, licking blood onto the black dirt of the ground. Eat was all the figure said, but it was all it needed to do, as I felt the need to taste the flesh in its hand, a need to feel something rend before me and tear it to pieces. I leaned down to take a bite of the heart. I could feel the meat tear apart with ease, and the blood from it gush into my mouth and drip down my face as I continued to eat, while not letting my eyes leave those pools of acid on its face. When I finished, it raised its blood-free hand to wipe some of the blood off on my face, smearing it at the same time. I'm not sure why I did it, but I stuck my tongue out to lick at its fingers, which tasted of blood mixed with this sweetness I'd never tasted before. When I did that, the air vibrated from the purr that the figure released. I couldn't see it, but I knew it was smirking at me when it did that. Or when I did that. When it then drew its hand away, I was somewhat disappointed, but then saw it bring its hand to where a mouth should be, and saw a long spike-like tongue come out of the void that was its face and lick up the blood on its hand while it kept its eyes on me. Delightfully entertaining was all it said when it finished licking up the blood from its hand. It then started to turn into a puddle of blood, absorbing into the ground as if the puddle of deep red was never there. It was only after all of that I felt the taste in my mouth that I recognized immediately, but wanted to deny it completely because that would mean something impossible happened last night, and that the weird kink dream I had last night was so much more than a dream. I decided to lay back down and think happy thoughts, ignoring my thoughts and the acid green eyes burning a hole in my thoughts of what was happening to me. Freaky ab meat blood goes demon. Came for snoot, left with trauma. Alright, that's the end of that one. First time writing. Well, keep at it. I mean, these writing prompts are to incentivize people to get some stuff jotted down after all. Alright. Let's see here. I think we have one more, correct? Right. This one is from Ken. This is Initiation Night. Ken says that this one is pretty long, though. So get buckled up. Oh yeah, this bitch 11 pages, dog. Oh, clear my throat a little bit. Alright, here we go. Initiation Night. It was finally the week of one of the most esteemed high school football matchups on this side of Dinofornia. The annual football game in question. St. Hammond's Feathertails versus Volcano High School's King Rexes. The two had been rival schools for years, and now that St. Hammond had garnered enough interested students and staff members in most recent years to form their own official football team, the private school for the arts had thrown their hat in the ring that was the National Federation of State High School Associations, requesting permission from their officials to form their own team to compete and maybe even go to states with. Needless to say, from where Ted McManus was standing now, the Feathertails were a very real football team, officiated and approved by the NFHS. The start of the school year was in full swing, coinciding with the football season that was already almost a half a dozen games in. This school year marks the Feathertails' 5th anniversary as a team, and while that was even more reason to celebrate Spirit Week as a student and player of the team's offensive lineup, Ted couldn't help but be almost overwhelmed by it all. Admittedly, this wasn't his first time on a football team, having played through most of his tenure in his hometown junior high in the chilly Midwestern town of Little Valley, but he would soon find out high school football was an entirely different beast. Although St. Hammond was a school for arts above many other things, that didn't mean its other programs didn't have quality, passionate students and staff members among them. That was a fact made all too prominent by the moment Mr. McManus stepped into its front doors that Monday morning of school with his oldest sister, Chloe, in tow. "Go Feathertails!" A flash of blue and gold assaulted his eyes first, followed by a peculiar rustling of plastic, leaving him temporarily blinded and confused. Ted had to blink his evergreen eyes several times in rapid succession to grasp what on earth was going on. It looked as though the school mascot had thrown up all over the hallway. The walls were laden with school-colored streamers, balloons, as well as the face of St. Hammond himself on poster boards and banners that were longer than Ted was tall, with all variations of the school's team's name written in either bold font or artsy calligraphy. The tacky and overblown decorations weren't the only things that caught him completely off guard, of course. Lined up on both sides of the walls of the hall were the Feathertails cheerleader squadron, decked out in their full uniforms, complete with the glittering spirit pom-poms. That explained the sound of rustling plastic, at least. Ted mused as some of his senses returned to him. As the squad of over a dozen girls stood in unison, their arms spread out and standing on one leg with their left knee bent almost to their snoots, they shook their pom-poms and filled the hallway with dry, rustling noises in their voices. They chanted as one cohesive force, accentuating each word with a stomp or a clap. They spelled out the team name as one, as well as several other school chants and sayings. Ted couldn't be bothered to really comprehend the gibberish, if he was being honest. The spiel continued as more students filed in, some stomping and gawking in surprise, just as Ted had, others passing by, either snickering or going along with it by mimicking the cheerleaders. Luckily for them, Ted's sister seemed to be the most sensible out of the two siblings and dragged him off by the collar of his jacket. One of the cheerleaders, a purple parasaur at the end of the lineup, broke formation to wave them off, smirking at Ted as he finally regained the use of his legs.
"See you in chemistry, Teddy."
Chloe gritted her teeth and let go of Ted's jacket the moment they rounded the corner. "Fucking preppy bitches," she grumbled as her brother straightened his jacket with a frown. The only two humans in school then continued on toward homeroom as they walked side by side in relative silence for a few beats. Disgruntled by his sister's seemingly sour mood, Ted stole a glance her way with a furrowed brow. "You good?" "Yeah, are you?" Chloe affirmed, barely meeting his eye with a flick of her gaze. Ted nodded wordlessly, clearing his throat when he realized he'd been openly staring at cheerleaders earlier. Chloe's fiery red hair whipped like dancing flames behind her. "Just startled me is all. I realize it's only Monday, right? Your game isn't till Saturday?" She grumbled. "Guess this is to be expected." Ted shrugged as he pointed a thumb over his shoulder. "St. Hammond must take Spirit Week pretty seriously." This caused Chloe to groan a little. "It's gonna be a long week, isn't it?" She replied with an exasperated sigh. Then she looked at her brother with a smirk. "Guess they gotta include you meatheads in the school somehow, huh? See you later, loser." "Mm-hmm," Ted replied with a roll of his eyes and a small grin, earning him a punch on the arm before his sister and brother parted ways to get their respective homerooms and begin their days. After-school football practice went about as normal as it always had. Ted partook in his share of exercises and drills, as well as some practice plays with the entire offensive lineup versus their defense. It was altogether a successful, if not tiring, practice, and Coach Solly slapped them all on their shoulder pads with approval as they hustled back to the locker rooms.
"Good work, gentlemen. Now hit the showers and go home. See you all tomorrow. Same time, same place."
After receiving an especially powerful slap on the back of his shoulder pad, Ted did his best not to stumble ahead of him as he entered the locker room with the rest of the team. The locker room was a whirlwind of conversation and the turning of squeaky shower faucets. Nice moves out there, man, a voice addressed from behind. Ted looked over his shoulder, recognizing the voice now to be Arthur, a Scion pterosaur that was recruited to the team the same time he was. They were two of the newest members and found companionship in that over the last few weeks. Arthur stooped on the bench next to him and carefully removed his helmet, a task that looked much more arduous of a feat with how much the Taro's crest had to be maneuvered around. Ted didn't envy the Saurians and their extra appendages when it came to the donning and removing of the equipment, but it seemed like the League had plenty of workarounds.
You too, bro?
Ted said, bumping Arthur's extended fist with his own.
How long of a field goal was that?
Just over 40 yards is my maths, right? Arthur replied with a shrug as he carefully removed his jersey.
Good shit. Won't be long till you're getting 3-point conversions from over 60. Just like the pros.
Arthur grinned, and Ted could swear he could see mathematical calculations being done in his fiery eyes. Wordlessly, they stripped down to their skivvies and made the short walk to the showers and separated to their respective shower stalls. Conversations around them were muffled by running water and steam alike, and when the sweat and grass stains were washed off his limbs, Ted returned to his locker with a towel wrapped around his waist. He began the process of ceremoniously dressing himself into street clothes and had just thrown his shirt over his head when someone behind him cleared their throat. Ted turned around and peeked out from the collar of his t-shirt as it fell over his torso, and he raised a brow at the trio of feathertail players standing before him. "Zap, Daddy," the middle saurian said with his arms crossed over his chest. He was a gray-scaled velociraptor with blue feathers running down his tail. His eyes were like frozen lace and were framed by black hair that flowed almost down to his shoulders. Ted knew him as Frankie, the quarterback and team captain. Ted's eyes briefly flicked to each of his flanking cronies in turn. Jasper, red triceratops, and one of the offensive linemen smirked at him in silence. Miguel, green ankylo, stood at Frankie's other side, looking uncertain but not entirely unfriendly.
"Sup?"
Ted replied, short but not unkind. Frankie scratched the bottom of his chin and slumped forward a little. "Yeah, so maybe I was wrong about you." Ted looked visibly taken aback, and Frankie continues with a scoff. "You're pretty good. For a human, that is. We're currently standing 4-0, and that's like the best start we've had to a season yet." Ted catches the trace of a grin across the raptor's face. "So, I think we should be talking about your initiation now."
"Initiation,"
Ted echoed and lifted an inquisitive, bushy eyebrow.
"This far in the season?"
"Yep," Frankie replied nonchalantly with a nod of his head. "Most of us wanted to see how long you'd last. Would have hated to put you through the initiation just for you to drop out of the team because you sucked or something, right, fellas?" He glanced at his two companions and flashed them a knowing grin. Jasper returned the nod, but kept his smirk and gaze on Ted. Miguel, meanwhile, shrugged. "See, initiation is no joke, amigo," Miguel said pointedly. "There's a reason we wait till October, too." "Easy now, Miguel," Frankie quipped with a slight frown. "We don't want to spoil it too much, you dig?" Ted frowned, eyes flicking between Frankie and Miguel. He also noticed Jasper's silence. The trike seemed keen on just watching and listening to the conversation. It was hard for Ted to get a read on the guy. Seemed like a man of few words, but he didn't look like a typical dummy either. At least, he finally dropped his smirk, as it was starting to get a little unnerving. Finally, the freckled human relented with an exasperated sigh.
"Okay, what am I supposed to be doing?"
Are you free tonight?" The voice belonged to Jasper, startling even Frankie as the bunch turned towards him.
"Tonight?"
Ted and Frankie repeated in unison, his mind racing as he thought about what homework needed doing. Jasper snorted and crossed his arms. Frankie stared at him accusingly, as if he was the one who was supposed to be making the plans here. Jasper only shrugged. "Between football practice ramping up later this week, not including the week's class workload, tonight'd be best," the red trike continued. His gaze seemed to harden as it locked onto Frankie's. The two seemed to have a mini battle of wits for a few silent and awkward seconds before the gray raptor relented with a hoof. "All right, fine. Tonight works for me, too."
"Yeah, sure, whatever,"
Ted agreed.
"Sooner we get it done with, the better."
"Sick!" Frankie cried with a clap of his hands. "Meet us back on the field by 8 o'clock. Sound good?" The raptor looked at each of them in turn, and everyone nodded in the affirmative. "Oh, and Arthur's going too." He turned on his heel and pointed a claw at the blue terror, who was just strolling past from the shower room. He spun on his heels, tightening his towel around his waist with a cartoonish, almost audible blink. "Huh?" As the hours ticked down to 8 o'clock, Ted was beginning to wonder what he'd signed up for. Sitting comfortably at his work desk in his bedroom, he leaned back in his chair and fixed his gaze up on the ceiling with a long, exasperated sigh. Sprawling out on his desk before him was the remnants of his math homework, as well as a model he snuck in a few coats of paint on during his breaks between equations. Something had been eating at him ever since agreeing to Frankie's initiation process, as much as he wanted to blow them all off and stay in for the night. He couldn't let Arthur go out alone. McManus folded his arms behind his head and leaned further back, opting to ignore the groaning of his swiveling chair. What on earth got him feeling so on edge all of a sudden? The sense of foreboding was starting to darken the room itself. In his struggle against uncertainty, he found his gaze drifted off toward the ancient-looking digital alarm clock on his bedside table. 7:42 p.m. Shit. Ted jumped out of his chair and swiftly threw on his St. Hammond Letterman jacket. Once again, he was grateful the school was only a 10-minute walk. He'd make it by 8 o'clock as long as he had a quick pace. The footballer stormed down the stairs, throwing a glance toward the only source toward the living room. Ted recognized the horror movie playing on the screen, and after another second of analyzing, Chloe popped her head out from behind the couch, and his nerves got the better of him and earned him a tiny jump scare as he took his step backward toward the steps. In the low light of the living room, with the screen to her back, Ted could only make out her darkened silhouette perfectly in sync with the movie's tense, screeching violin. She had to have planned that bitch. "Where the hell are you off to?" He heard a hiss over the movie, no doubt seeing his jacket and his shoes and putting two and two together. Ted finished his descent to the landing and rounded to the side of the couch as he realized she had company over. "Hi, Ted," said a soft voice sitting on the other side of the couch. Ted felt his stomach involuntarily perform a somersault as his eyes locked with the deep blue pools belonging to none other than Cindy. Even only lit by the TV screen, he could make out her coral-colored scales and honey-golden blonde hair. Her tail was curled around herself rather cutely. Ted mused to himself. Chloe cleared her throat to redirect his attention. "Oh, hey, out. Going out. Frankie wanted a meeting with the offensive lineup," McManus replied while he scratched the back of his head. "Said this was the best time for it." "This late?" Chloe frowned and exchanged a look with Cindy, who shrugged while looking equally perplexed. "Just be careful, I guess. You don't need a ride, do you?" "Nope." "Good. We're trying to watch a movie here?" Chloe smirked and waved him off. "Now beat it, nerd." Instead of rolling his eyes at his sister, Ted exchanged a parting smile with Cindy, who murmured a "be careful" before the door closed shut behind him, and he was on his way to whatever fate awaited him. The trek to the football and track field was a quiet but quick one. Ted all but ran down the sidewalk in order to make it on time. Again, his nerves were beginning to get the better of him, only a few blocks in on his journey, and he couldn't help but shake the feeling he was being observed from somewhere. Though he couldn't discern from where exactly, the distinct feeling of a pair of unfriendly eyes bearing down on him was enough to make him look over his shoulder more than once. Needless to say, he was somewhat grateful to see St. Hammond loom into sight, despite there not being a soul within the walls at this time on a school night. Ted silently slipped past the school to get his initiation's meeting place, noting a singular overhead light was switched on over the end zone further away from him. He stopped at the edge of the parking lot and spotted a small group of saurians gathered around under the light. One of them leaned up against the field goal. Detective McManus swallowed the lump in his throat that had started to form and approached them. No sooner had he stepped into the sideline that the group of Feathertails players took notice of him. "There's our other man of the hour," Frankie called out as Ted was about halfway across the gridiron. "Thought you'd chicken out." Ted glanced around the group, noticing that he was the last to arrive. "Are you guys... and leave you guys hanging?" Ted quipped back and allowed a small smirk to pull at his lips. "Nah, man." He looked to the assembled dinos before him. Everyone who had intended on being there tonight was indeed present, Arthur included. He and Miguel looked uncertain, particularly Miguel. Ted noticed the Ankleo had periodically looked over his shoulder, as if expecting someone else to be joining them. The human remembered the strange feeling he had on the way to the field just then, but before he could ask Miguel what was up, the gray raptor spoke. "All right, we're ready. It's cold as balls out here, so let's get on with it." Frankie nodded toward the edge of the field. Come to think of it, Ted was the most lightly dressed out of the five of them. Once again, he was reminded that saurians in climates below 60 degrees Fahrenheit did not mix very well. Arthur stood next to Ted and nodded fervently. "Yes, please. I'd like very much to go back home where it's warm, thank you very much." "Hey, no worries, man," Frankie replied with a chuckle under his breath. He adjusted his knit hat before shoving his hands in his coat pockets. The raptor motioned with his snout to follow, and the group obeyed, albeit a few of them a bit reluctantly. "Come on, this shouldn't take too long." "That's ominous," Ted pointed out dryly as the group moved as one with a sense of submergency, especially after leaving the safety and warmth of the overhead lights. The boys plunged headfirst into the dark, seemingly heedless of what awaited them. "Okay, maybe a little," Frankie relented with a shallow shrug. Miguel quickened his pace, wordlessly passing by Ted and Arthur, and caught up with Frankie. The Ankleo hissed something under his breath toward the quarterback, who leaned to his side to better hear him. What Ted thought he heard almost gave him pause, though he still couldn't help the cold shiver that trickled down his spine as the hushed words crept into his unwilling ears. "Are you sure we aren't being followed, amigo?" So Ted wasn't the only one with that feeling then. That was both a relief and a disturbing realization. A relief that Ted wasn't just paranoid, but disturbing to know that there was someone or something watching them. Or maybe this was part of some elaborate prank? That was also a possibility that he kept in the back of his mind. Frankie's response, however, pitted a good counter against that theory, however. "I don't know, man. Let's just do the paraphrase version of this and split ASAP." Ted peered over at Arthur to see if he was hearing any of this. Sure enough, he met the Terra's eyes, and that was all the answer he needed. For the second time that night, Ted asked himself just what he was getting himself into. The outline of a small building loomed out ahead of them from the dark, and the group promptly stopped as Frankie turned toward them. "All right, gang, here's the deal. See that shed over there?" They nodded. It was hard not to notice it, even in the dark. It was a supply shed full of extra gym and sports equipment, though he distinctly remembered only staff were allowed to use it. "You," he points to Ted with a claw, "and you," he shifts the same finger towards the pterodactyl companion, "are going to break in and borrow something, and we're here to practice tomorrow." Ted and Arthur blinked and shared a quizzical look. Ted was the first to speak out. "What? Isn't that illegal or something?" Arthur interjected as well, while crossing his arms. Frankie started as if he had forgotten something and began fiddling around in one of his pockets. "Oh, hold on. Cool, here it is." He pulls out a key, wiggling it in his hands with a small smirk. "When I said break in, I totally meant open normally. With this." "Where did you get that?" Arthur inquired flatly, frowning. "I'm team captain," Frankie snapped defensively. He punched Jasper in the shoulder as the large Triceratops snickered to himself. "I get special privileges, including access to supplies. There's nothing illegal about it." The raptor held out the key for either of them to grab. A mischievous smile curled around his snout. Ted rolled his eyes and snatched the key from his hand with a grunt. "Whatever. What are we supposed to be borrowing?" "You'll figure it out once inside, trust me." Ted trudged toward the shed with Arthur in tow. He stood before the door with a sign pasted sloppily below a dark window. The sign read in big, bold red font, "Staff only." As expected, it was bolted up with a simple but heavy-looking lock. He grasped the lock with one hand and fit the key in the other, and with a sharp click, the hefty mechanism detached itself from the door and fell into his open palm. That was when Ted felt like he was being observed again, the gaze almost as heavy as the lock in his hand. With a pause, he exchanged a companionable nod with Arthur before he placed his hand over the handle and slowly slid it open. They were met with nothing but darkness. The longer Ted looked, the more he realized it was a strangely different kind of dark compared to the night that surrounded them. It was thicker and weightier, with the obvious sense that they shouldn't be doing this, especially during the later hours of the evening. "Here," Arthur whispered from behind him and stepped forward with his phone out, camera facing the shadows ahead of them. Ted tensed in anticipation as the Tarot fiddled with his phone, feeling exposed to whatever was waiting within the confines of the storage shed. Mercifully, the little flashlight on the corner of his phone came to life, and the shed was bathed in a flood of light so abrupt it was almost more jarring than the contents it illuminated. Arthur gasped, and Ted felt his body go rigid. Hats. Piles and piles of hats. To be specific, it was more like one giant mountain of hats, flanked with tinier rolling foothills of headwear. There were baseball caps, snapbacks, berets, bucket hats, and boonie hats, all in almost every color Ted could name. For every normal everyday hat he could see people wearing outside on occasions like Halloween or a Ren Fair, there were more hats that struck him as utterly bizarre, just haphazardly lying in bulk amongst thousands of other hats. Let alone the fact that they were in a high school sports equipment supply shed, piled up like a lunatic stash of headwear. Ted could make out the shapes of top hats, bowlers, wide-brimmed cowboy hats, the occasional fez and officer cap. Thanks to his father's time in service, he even recognized a number of garrison and peaked hats, headwear belonging to men and women in the military. Ted finally tore his gaze from the mess to gauge how Arthur was handling the revelation, only to see the Tarot mirroring his reaction almost exactly. "What the fuck?" McManus finished for him. "Huh, so the rumors were true." Ted rolled around to see Frankie and the other guys peeking over their shoulders. "Rumors?" Ted echoed, fighting the urge to slam the door shut and locking it back up again. "Yeah," Frankie replied easily. "There were seniors who graduated last year saying something about Solly keeping his collection somewhere on school grounds." "But why hats?" Arthur stuttered, his eyes still on the mother lode before them. "Beats the hell out of me. Dude's got a weird hobby." Frankie shuddered, then nudged them forward. "Now hurry up and pick one. We're freezing." Ted and Arthur shrugged and stepped into the supply shed, and then they were able to actually ascertain that there were actual sports equipment in the shed, though was pushed to the far corners in favor of the colossal collection of cranium coverings. They each took the nearest hat they could reach, both of them understandably not opting to take time to really think about their choice in hat. Together, the duo turned on their heel, just in time to hear something shuffle behind them. As soon as the light from Arthur's phone left the pile, the pair froze, their eyes locking with Frankie, Miguel, and Jasper's, who were standing stiffly outside the open door. Ted could see the uncertainty lining their faces. Even Frankie looked concerned. Was that you, Ted?" Arthur whispered, not daring to look behind them. Ted glanced from his hat of choice, a garrison cap, to the trio of Saurians waiting for them. Something was telling him, no, was screaming at him to drop the hat and run out that door, to run and not look back, and not look at whatever had slowly but surely begun to stir the piles of headwear by their feet. The hairs on the back of his head stood up on end as the shed suddenly felt a lot colder than the air outside on this mid-October evening. So cold that he could see his breath. Nobody moved. Even the strange shuffling behind them suddenly stopped. Time seemed to stop along with them. Ted breathed slowly, silently. In, out, in, out. He could still see his breath, and he could swear the one window to the door started to grow frost in the corners. Arthur was absolutely shivering at this point, his wings wrapped around himself like a second coat, trying and failing to retain heat. "Ted, this is stupid. Let's just go, all right?" He managed to eke out through rows of chattering teeth. The Tarot moved toward the door, and before Ted could so much as call out to him, something airborne blew over his shoulder. It connected with the back of Arthur's head with a sickening crunch, and the Saurian crumbled lifelessly to the ground. Ted gasped as he stared at the Tarot's body. In the moonlight that spilled out the open doorway and past the trio of stunned football players, he could make out the object now lodged in the back of poor Arthur's cranium. It was a wide-brimmed hat with edges purposefully sharpened enough to dig into flesh and bone alike, especially after flying at such a velocity. Ted could feel his face drain of all color as he stared at the body of his friend. With a shaky hand, he reached up to place a hand over the side of his neck. Sure enough, He felt a warm trickle of liquid oozing from a small cut that could have decapitated him had he moved just a fraction of an inch more. This couldn't be happening. This shouldn't be happening. Arthur was... Vacantly, Ted's eyes drifted from the corpse to meet Frankie's gaze, or any of the other two for that matter. He wanted to meet someone's eyes to confirm that what he was really seeing right now was real. He wanted to cry out, to tell them to help Arthur. Hell, he wanted to do it himself. Even in his head now, Ted planned an escape route. He stepped forward and ducked whatever spiraling towards his head, scoop up the Taro's body, and run straight to the hospital from there. But looking back at Arthur now, there was nothing to be done. Neither Jasper, Miguel, or Frankie were even looking at him or Arthur anymore. With pupils dilated to pinheads, they were staring straight past him into the darkness at his back. Ted jammed his eyes shut, and a stream of tears escaped from under his eyelids. He grit his teeth, and in a single fluid motion, turned on his heel to face whatever monstrosity had dared to kill his friend. Ted, you okay, friend? Can I unlock that door, or do you want me to try? Arthur's voice. Ted's breath hitched as he opened his eyes. Instead of staring up at a murderous force from the heart of the shed, he was standing in front of the shed door again. The padlock still kept the door rightfully inaccessible, the key still held in his lightly shaking grasp. Arthur was standing right beside him, a mixture of confused and worried, but very much alive. Ted stared at him in bewilderment as the gears in his head spun wildly. Whatever strange and terrible daydream he had concocted in his head clearly hadn't happened. He lowered his gaze to the key in his hand and shook his head, then clenched his fingers to hide it inside a fist. No. Ted grunted and turned his back to the door, extending it out and dropping into Frankie's hands, who was almost too dumbstruck to catch it. What the hell, man? Frankie growled, half in surprise, half in irritation. What's gotten into you? Oh, shit. Potential words of admonishment came to an abrupt stop as the raptor spied something in the window on the shed door. Ted did not like the look on the captain's face one bit, especially since it was vaguely reminiscent of his expression of unadulterated shock and terror he had seen just a moment ago in his weird vision. Ted whipped his head over his shoulder, just to face with Solly, separated by a thin pane of glass that was the shed's singular window. What was almost more surprising than seeing their football coach and gym teacher inside the track and field storage shed at this hour on a school night was the fact that he wasn't wearing his usual choice of headwear that hid his eyes from view. Illuminated by the moon above, the man's eyes were dark and almost comically beady, but the look of silent, unfiltered rage coursed through every wrinkle and taut muscle on his face. His expression twisted in such unnaturally horrifying ways, Ted would have been impressed had he not been so terrified. Good call, Ted, Frankie called out, breaking the uneasy staring contest between Ted and Coach Solly. The raptor was already halfway across the field with Miguel and Jasper running off on their own, no doubt headed straight back home without so much as a glance behind them. See you tomorrow! Ted threw one more apologetic glance to the silently fuming coach before turning and stomping down the field with Arthur. Arthur, like a true bro, was waiting for him by the sidelines, motioning frantically for his human friend to haul ass. Ted was fairly built, but he certainly wasn't built for long sprints. When it came to running for one's life, however, Ted found out there was a clear exception to the rule. In record-breaking time, Ted and Arthur made it back to the McManus household and slammed the door shut behind them. Chloe and Cindy, who had just wrapped up their movie, removed themselves from the couch to investigate the commotion. Chloe was about to scold them for being so loud and interrupting girls' night until she saw the look of exhaustion and terror on both boys' faces. Teddy? She inquired. What's happened to you two, and where'd you get that hat?
And
There you go. Very well done, Ken. Very well done. They almost intruded on Solly's hat patch. I actually really liked how there was just the fucking pile of hats. Because it's easy to forget that Solly is a good old TF2 boy and likes getting them hats. Oh, man. Well, that was some good readings tonight, I'd say. You know, we got a good bit in there, and as long as I can keep up with it, hopefully we should be doing the readings for these on Sundays. As long as I don't pass out all day like I did yesterday. I don't know what happened. I just like fucking mentally reset. But I'd like to try and do the reading prompts on Sunday so that way we can do like fanfic readings on Mondays still. Though that does kind of like book me up stream wise. So we'll see if I can keep up with that. For those who wanted none in the chamber tonight, my apologies. But we're already 3 hours, 18 minutes in, and I can kind of feel my throat getting a little funky. I don't know if it's fucking I'm getting like a little tad bit sick, or it's just all of the reading this week and like the length of the streams is kind of making me a little funky, or what. But I think that's a good place to end it. Are you a goofy goober? I'm a goofy goober, yeah, goofy goober, yeah. Yeah, of course I am. That's pretty good. I liked it. Yeah, it was really good. I've had too much za. I'm going to sleep. Bye, people. Peace, peace. Good night, have a gun. Hope you liked mine, Homo. Yeah, it was good, Cars. It was good. But we'll be live again on, I believe, Wednesday. Unless something changes, tomorrow's going to be my watch night, so there's not going to be any stream. Wednesday, we'll maybe be continuing Silent Hill 2. We'll see what things are looking like. I'll probably update the calendar in the Discord with the planned streams. As always, make sure to check the calendar for anything that's going to be happening, either stream wise or with the community. Taking a peek at it right now, we've got anime running tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. EST to 10:30 p.m. EST. It looks like. I believe they're watching Beastars. And then at the end of the week currently, we have on Saturday, there's going to be a movie night, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. EST. It's going to be looks like Cartoon Network movie grab bag. And then at 4 p.m., we're going to have 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. is going to be another anime time, hosted by Iggy, and the movie hosted by Reed, I believe. Then I kind of mentioned it during the Yap section. Next week on Tuesday, I'll be doing some No More Room in Hell 2 with probably the community. Anybody who ends up picking up as well, we'll probably jump into some games. Should be good. I'll hit you up about Wall of Flesh fight either tomorrow or tonight. I'll probably hop into the Discord afterwards. Anybody who's on the fucking Terraria server, feel free to join up. We'll probably be doing Wall of Flesh either tonight or tomorrow because it's time to move to hard mode. We've been in pre-hard mode for long enough. But yeah. As for that, anybody in chat, be you lurking or otherwise, I hope you had a good time watching, listening, doing all the fun stuff, and chatting. I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you, and I will catch you on Wednesday. Until then, take care.